This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates.
Today on the Little Dum Dum Club, a brand new episode with special guests Nick Mullen, Adam Friedland, and Stavros Halkias from the Cumtown podcast. But first, we need to let you know that this episode is brought to you by ShipStation. When you're selling online, getting your orders out the door quickly can be tough, and that is why you need ShipStation.com, the fast and easy way to manage and ship your orders all from one place. And if you head to ShipStation.com now, you can get a free trial for 30 days plus a special bonus when you use the promo code DUM. That's D-U-M. That's going to let them know that you came over from us. So head over there. Check out ShipStation. That's exciting.
Shippo.
They're back. They've done it again.
Good on them.
This show is on Patreon. You can support us on there if you would like to. Patreon.com/Little Dum Dum Club. We send out bonus episodes and stuff every month. Heaps of sweet rewards, including us potentially reading your name out on an episode of this, which we're going to do at the end of the episode in an all-new installment of Talking Dum Dum. But until then, enjoy this new episode with the boys from Cumtown. Hey mates, welcome once again into the Little Dum Dum Club for another week. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Tommy Dasilo. With me as always the other half of the show, Carl Chandler.
G'day, dickhead. Finally, we got some guests on the show with a more fuck title than our podcast title. So
very excited to have these guys in from the Cumtown podcast. Nick Mullen, Adam Friedland, and Stavros Halkias.
Hello. Yeah.
Hello, boys.
Thanks for joining us. Yeah, we normally, when we have people in here who don't know us, we very ashamedly say the name of this podcast, the Little Dum Dum Club. But yeah, this is nice. We don't have to feel.
That's a step up for you boys, I think. Little Dum
sure.
Dum Club.
Oh
Yeah.
Feels fancy.
We should get. What should be our Australian name? There's something that maybe the cheeky cunts.
Yeah.
Kookaburra Tom.
What do they
call
come here? Yeah. It's the same.
It's the same. Yeah, it's pretty universal.
Yeah, we have come here.
Yeah.
They got that here.
Yeah. Dave?
It's a few years old. Like we get it a few years after you guys get it. But,
But it would be like come bury.
Yeah.
Cummy.
Come bury. Like instead of because do you have towns?
We have towns.
Oh, okay.
What do you mean? Cumbury? What?
Yeah.
We tend to put the word O on a lot of things.
Your towns end in bury a lot of times, don't they?
Yeah.
Instead of
Right.
Berg.
Canberra.
Canberra.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
There's Canberra. You should be going there. You could rebrand the whole city.
Canberra.
Canberra. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the towns have funny names.
Yeah.
They're
That's
almost
pretty
they're
universal.
almost dumber than Cumtown already.
I like it how you're 4 days into your visit to this country and only now are you asking, do they call it come here?
Yeah.
That's why the shows are selling so well, because people just think it's a nice, polite title for a show.
Right.
No one knows what it is.
Yeah, it's actually it's where the mayor lives. That's
Yeah.
that's their Monticello is Cumtown.
People are coming to your show because they're finally trying to get their first look at cum. They think you're going to bring cum to Australia. Yeah.
Dude, if I found out this was a country where no one came, I would move here in a fucking heartbeat.
Is that what you like? You like people with
Nick is a
very
prude.
large
I'm
testicles?
an absolute prude.
No, he
Yeah,
doesn't
right.
want
He
backed
doesn't
up
like
nuts.
lascivious
Yeah.
He wants no one coming.
No one-
Yeah.
yeah.
He wants a cumless society.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas me, I'm doing backstrokes and cum.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
I'm like, Scrooge McDuck when he dives into the gold coins. That's me in pussy.
That's
Yeah.
Scrooge. That's Scrooge McFuck. Yeah.
With the three of us, we're sort of like an id-ego, super-ego thing, where Stav's unbridled libidinal impulses.
That's absolutely true.
Adam's the ego, and I'm like the overly punitive superego that thinks everyone should be castrated, criticizes Adam constantly.
Well, you boys went out last night. You did a gig. We got the intel that you got given some stuff by some friends of the show. So
nice.
Good of them to fuck up our podcast recording by
yeah.
feeding you guys drugs last night.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah, I think I'm still fucked up.
It was weird though. That guy said he had to suck our dicks to give us the drugs.
Yeah, that's what I meant by fucked up. I have PTSD from being molested. The drugs have worn off.
Yeah, that's another thing that's the opposite here. Normally you have to suck people's dicks in America to get drugs from them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but here
They
it seems
suck
like
your dick
It's like the water going
It's like
down
the
the plug hole.
toilet,
Yeah,
yeah.
totally.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's such a crazy country.
Yeah, it's insane. It's like we're walking upside down right now.
Yeah.
So we were excited to have you guys in here, but we listen to your show. We're fans of it, and safe to say, so like people think that our show, people who listen to this think that this show gets pretty rough, it gets pretty loose. But, you know, we listen to your show and it's just on a whole other level. Like, it makes us look like absolute soft cocks. So
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say, you know, we're looking forward to this. We're excited to have you guys in, but we're a little anxious about it potentially straying into
The N-word.
yes, exactly, the N-word
Racial-
territory.
Yeah, well, we had like a 15-minute racial slur medley planned.
Yeah,
Should we
no.
not do that?
Oh,
Should we
wow.
just-
That's our vocal warm up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But at the same time, you guys make so much more money off Patreon than we do. So maybe,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
maybe we're doing it wrong. Maybe we
Hey.
should stop holding back.
Hey, Tommy Dessler here is a Patreon subscriber for you guys. So
wow.
You're welcome.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I
So-
thought you were lying about saying you listen to the show.
No,
Yeah.
I listen.
Oh,
I love
okay.
it.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wow, thanks.
So what? How much do you subscribe a month,
I
Tommy?
subscribe the $5.
$5. So what
Not
do
a
you?
Nazi subscriber.
No, not a Nazi subscriber. Yeah.
So what did you guys? How did you guys spend $5 today? How did you spend Tommy's money today?
Just a latte. I got
Just a latte. Nice.
I'm happy with
down-
that.
down
Sponsored by
lobby.
Tommy
I'm happy with
Dessler.
that. Yeah.
nice one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I considered buying Cheaper by the Dozen as a movie on
The
pay-per-view.
Steve Martin one?
The Steve Martin
Yeah,
one.
that movie
first thing in the
sucks.
morning to watch?
Yeah. Last night, really late at
Oh.
night.
Yeah. That was under the
put me out.
influence last
Did
night.
you?
That movie was the
Did you have
only-
a female caller last night?
I don't suck titties and tell, Nick, but
I mean, I know that's not true.
I will plead
Thanks,
the.
Steve.
Do they have the fifth in Australia? Can I?
We
No,
don't.
They don't have the.
Oh.
Do you have a
U.S.
constitution?
Constitution is not. It
Yeah.
it doesn't
Well,
exist
do you have
here.
something against self-incrimination?
Also, Trump's not our president down here as well. Like, we've got a whole different deal happening
Whoa,
down
really?
here. Yeah.
Who is the president?
Jealous.
Fuck, who is it?
Tim,
Scott
Tim
Morrison.
Allen.
Scott Morrison.
Yeah.
You guys have an election every 3 weeks, though, right?
We have our leaders keep kind of like getting
That
pushed
fuck-
aside by other people in their
That
You
party.
guys saw
rules,
the
dude.
video of the guy. What's his name? 3 prime ministers ago this week.
Yeah.
Where he was just standing there like a pervert.
Oh, yeah. Tony
Yeah.
Abbott.
Tony Abbott, yeah.
that was
What does that
great.
mean, standing there like a pervert?
No, just like
Classic-
Staring at women. That's
Classic
yeah,
pervert
staring at-
stance.
Yeah, there were
Yeah.
3
on
women
both of his
stage.
feet.
yeah.
You know, I can show you later.
Shoulder
Yeah.
length apart, cock
Yeah.
like 3/4 hard, not all
Yeah,
the
yeah,
way.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
75%er.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
That's
He's
the
shoved up.
ideal engorgement, I'd say.
Yeah, because it looks like it's soft.
Right.
Here's a little tip for the listeners, guys. If you ever want to look like you have a big dick, get 3/4 hard and just let it just marinate in your jeans all day.
Yeah, this is the same guy who ate an onion on TV, a whole onion
Yeah.
with the skin.
He's
Oh.
yeah.
I feel like
that
you're
was
trying
the
to
guy leading our country.
I feel like you're trying to show off
I am,
to these
yeah.
to these guys
Wait,
that we have a
he's-
fuck leader when these guys have got king fucked.
he's
leader.
retarded though, right?
Whoa.
Am I allowed to say that?
Whoa, not here, buddy.
You're allowed to say it about
Tony
your
Abbott.
people,
Is
not
Is it
about our
Rero
people.
or like Rio?
Yeah, Rio. Just
Yeah,
call
yeah,
him
Rio.
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 Yeah.
He's a
Oh, really?
Rio.
You guys
Is that what they did? They say Rio here, like REO Speedwagon. That's that band's about.
Yeah, that band's banned here. Not allowed to listen
Over
to
here,
him.
it's REO Slowwag.
I wish I remembered even one of their songs.
Yeah.
Her name is Rio. No, that's
No,
a different.
name.
Her name is.
Slow drive, take it easy. Is that REO's Speedwagon?
What is
Oh, that's
REO?
Foghat.
That's Fog.
Yeah, that's not even the same genre. What the fuck did the REO Speedwagon do?
Yeah, I don't know. Carl?
No, I don't know. I don't
No,
know.
whatever.
I only know
Fuck them.
Australian bands.
No, we got to figure
So
this out, guys.
AC/DC.
yeah. AC/DC.
Savage
Kylie
Garden.
Minogue.
Yeah, we're friends with all those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. You'd
Hugh-
say that as
Hugh
a joke. You
Jackman.
actually are friends with a big Australian band, but anyway.
Yeah, but these guys never heard.
Well, who are they?
Oh man, they were big. They would have been big in colleges over there.
Bee Gees?
Kings
Yeah. Big college band.
Men
the
at
Bee Gees.
Work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the Avalanches. Have you ever heard of those
The
guys?
Avalanches? Yeah, for sure.
Shut
Oh, yeah,
up,
yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
You go home.
Since I met you.
Yeah. This guy gets
Yeah,
it.
he
That song
gets
is
it.
Need
amazing.
some
Yeah.
more coffee.
I don't know them.
Thanks, man.
They're it's like a kind of beat. They make beats. Kind
Okay,
of, yeah,
nice.
Kind of.
Shouts out to the Avalanches.
You guys know. We were trying to think of people that we know that you might know. You guys know Ronny Chieng?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ronnie rules.
I really only know Nick Cody.
Oh, you know Nick Cody?
Yeah, me and him are pretty tight, I guess, somewhat.
Nick's cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're
great.
off Instagram at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm
so
off
you're,
all social media.
You're missing out on the bombardment of awful social media content
Yeah,
of him
his
at the moment
child.
with his child.
He's
Yeah.
the first man in this country
Oh.
to have a baby. So
It's so funny because it's like I'm friends with him, but it's like his social media was always so sincere. It's like this poor disabled Australian man. It's like, look at me at my wedding, having a good time.
yeah. He's got the worst social media. It's the
Yeah.
fucking worst. He's got a picture of his baby every day. It's like, cunt.
Yeah.
We've seen babies.
You're
Everyone
right.
has them.
It's either
Yeah.
did you know that I like Conor McGregor?
Yeah.
Because we have the same facial deformity.
Yeah.
We have the same awful red genes.
And now neither of
Or-
us are any good at fighting. Yeah.
Yeah. Right, yeah. The one thing that's notable about him is I don't share that quality. The
Right.
fighting I don't have.
Right, yeah, yeah.
We're definitely both orange.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But you know, you guys have gigged with Ronny Chieng over there. He's our favourite autistic export from
Yeah.
Australia. So,
Yeah.
Yep.
I thought that was just being Asian. See, I couldn't tell he was autistic.
Yeah.
I thought
Oh,
it
we
was-
assume he's autistic,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
because it would answer a lot of questions about
Sure.
his behaviour. But yeah,
We'd better hope he's autistic.
Yeah.
You know what I
Everyone
mean?
just gets to be autistic now.
in comedy,
Yes.
It's great because
comedy
we've like
they do.
destroyed in everything. We've like destroyed social skills, so you can just be like, "Oh yeah, I'm autistic."
when
I
really
let
it
that
is-
door slam in your face.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm not considering your feelings.
Yeah.
for-
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just
You're
means
just
you're
a
an
bad
asshole for the
person.
most
Yeah.
part. Not with
Yeah.
Ronnie, he's very nice.
Yeah,
but
well, you have to have a hobby too. You can't just be an asshole. You have to
Right.
collect something,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
like I'll do like one unboxing video a month, and then that way
some form of
I can cheat
transportation.
on my girlfriend.
You have
Yeah.
to be into some kind of
Yeah,
transportation.
elevators, trains.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's Ronnie's hobby? What's the thing he's obsessed with?
Fuck, I don't know. He's just very petite. I mean, what's the thing he does when he takes a shit? He just goes in the shower every time.
Yeah, he has
Whoa.
a
Takes
shower
a
after
full shower after
every single shit
Respect.
immediately.
And that's why that man is in fucking movies. You know what I mean? That's a winner's mindset.
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
man
Sounds like a real
doesn't have a
crazy
speck
rich-
of shit on his asshole at any time in the day.
That movie
Yeah.
used to be called just Rich, and then when they brought him in, they got the crazy Asians bit and added that bit in. Yeah,
Yeah. So
Did you guys see that movie, Crazy Rich Asians?
I did. I loved
see
it.
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, I really
was
loved
good?
it. Yeah, I really liked it.
I read some of the book.
Oh, yeah.
but I didn't.
I'm really happy.
No, I
for-
legitimately did.
Damn,
There
sort
should
of
be
a brag.
You should be able to get a discount on the movie. If you've only read half the book, you should be able to get the movie ticket for cheaper.
Yeah.
But you just go in halfway through.
Well, the thing
up
is,
to the point that you've
they kind
read.
of spoil the whole movie right there in the title.
Mm.
It's just rich Asian people.
Yeah.
Which
So-
is for us. We're so happy for rich Asians to finally have their own movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been so long for them not.
Well, that's the
having
thing. It's like, it's not even like an identity sort of movie. It's not like now it's Asians' turn to be rich or whatever. It doesn't feel that way. It's just a movie about rich people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, which
And-
I was a little bit disappointed by because I saw Crazy Rich Asians. I thought that the rich Asians were going to be crazy.
Yeah.
And so they're like buying noodles for $1 billion and sticking it up their ass or whatever.
So they weren't crazy at all.
No,
they're
they're just
crazy
having
at all.
big parties
They
and
were
shit,
like
right?
crazy rich, not crazy,
crazy.
comma.
It's about
Rich.
this
Yeah,
this
right.
guy that brings his girlfriend to meet his like rich family, and then it's the same reason I can't watch like Food Network or whatever and see like nice meal. I'm not eating it. I get nothing out of watching like
No,
some guy
fuck that.
own a Lamborghini.
Right.
You know,
I like with the Food Network, dude.
I know you.
It
do.
primes the pump. You know what I mean? I watch a little chop, get Seamless out. Really
Man,
help
I
myself.
love Man vs. Food. That's like one of my favorite shows of
That's
all
a
time.
good
Yeah.
We were talking about him
We were
last
talking
night.
about last night. This guy I know met Adam Richman or whatever. And he's like, dude, I met that guy. He's actually like way fatter in real life.
Yeah. We've been trying to get him on
No
this.
shit?
We had
Adam
what's his
Richman?
name? Bert
Kreischer.
Bert Kreischer.
Oh,
yeah.
We
Yeah.
had him on, and he's like friends with him or whatever. And
Yeah.
we were trying to, and he was telling us on the show that he fucks.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Because
Yeah.
on the show, you keep seeing him go, oh, man, you go and eat all this stuff. And then all the crew go out and party. And then I go back and get on the treadmill. And then Bert's like, he fucking doesn't do that. He goes,
Yeah.
he fucks.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Salute to
Yeah,
him.
you
being
can
able-
fuck if you have like any kind of notoriety.
Yeah.
For,
Yeah.
like,
Stav has
anything.
sex.
Stav
What is
has-
that
Wow.
supposed to mean?
What's
Yeah.
How'd
What
you
is
get
the
that?
implication there?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, okay, I have sex
You're
because of
missing
my
a front
charm and
tooth.
beauty. Yeah, I know.
Joe Azuzu probably still gets pussy off of being Joe Azuzu.
You think
25
so?
years ago. Oh yeah.
Who's Joe Azuzu?
He was the spokesperson for Azuzu.
Oh.
And
Oh.
probably from like 1987 to 1991.
Right.
Nick really proving his autistic credentials on the show here.
Yeah, your autism is like 90s basic cable. It's like
Mostly broadcast television.
Yeah.
Yeah, not basic cable.
UPN.
Yeah, Paramount Network. WB.
I just want to say I'm surprised Adam Richman can maintain an erection with all
God.
with all the grease coursing through his
The fact
veins.
that his blood can circulate enough to get a boner.
That's
I need to chop it up.
That's the
If you have
core
him on, let me know what his secrets are.
of man versus food is he eats until he loses his erection, and then he's like, I guess the food won. That's how the show.
He starts out hard as shit.
Yeah. I've only seen like one episode of that show, and he's like, here I am, Cleveland, 17 milkshakes. I'm like, I can't watch it.
Yeah. No, but it's always got this setup where it's like it makes sense now knowing that he goes and fucks after the show, because it's like he does that 17 milkshake challenge. And he gets to 16 and goes, oh my God, I don't think I can drink another milkshake. And then a blonde woman comes over and goes, you can do it for me, can't you? And then kisses him on the cheek.
Yes.
And then he slams down the last
So you're
milkshake.
saying he bangs every one of those girls from
Yeah,
Friedland.
yeah.
It's like Popeye with olive oil.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
just
yeah,
comes
yeah,
over and
yeah.
kisses him on the cheek.
Yeah.
Whenever we come out of like the next ice age, people are going to discover like just clips from that show and be like, oh, I guess we deserved that giant war that killed everyone.
Yeah. Or worse, they don't discover clips from that show. They discover clips from podcasts talking about that show. It's like, it's even worse.
Yeah, way worse.
What a fucked society.
One of my best friends got blocked on Twitter for repeatedly asking Adam Richman how big his shits were. Shouts out Eldest.
So he knows that for a fact? That he knows for a fact that
For
was
a
the
fact,
reason?
because he kept tweeting at him, and then Adam Richman, because his handle at the time was Big Fat Idiot, my friends, and Adam Richman.
Man, you got to get on
DM'd him.
Twitter pretty early to get a handle like that. That's
and then
pretty
he
good.
gave up on it. He gave up on it. He stopped Twitter, but Adam Richman DM'd him and said, "Your name is perfect for you," and then blocked him.
Wait,
Wow.
he's sensitive like that?
Yeah, dude, he does not want to be asked how big his shits are. So if you want to get under Adam Richman's skin,
Yeah, let's get
although now they got
everyone.
some other guy who's just completely just fat as shit doing it, and
Yeah.
there's some charm to a guy not being morbidly obese and doing that show. You know what I mean? Like this guy, it seems like, why aren't
It's
you
like
eating 18?
Kobayashi-
People are
Yashi's jacked.
aware that there's like an obesity crisis.
Right,
You know?
right.
I mean, it's like so close to just being man versus heroin. It's not,
Oh, man.
It's like not that far off.
Fuck,
Yeah.
that's a show. That
It's
would
not,
be
it's,
great.
the show
Not much
isn't
Heroin
about,
would win very quickly.
the show isn't about the food being good, really. It's
Right.
just that there's a lot of it.
Yeah.
Man versus heroin would be British Office style, where it's just 6 eps and they're out. You know,
Yeah.
just
It
a
would
really
have to be.
succinct series. Fuck.
It would be a lot of deadpan looks at the camera, but it's not. It's just nodding off. It's not Jim making a face. It's just him
Yeah.
falling asleep slowly.
But how does that work? Like, because you guys are the home of like the eating competitions, like Kobayashi with the hot
Yeah.
dog. But who's his enemy again?
Joey, Jaws.
Chestnut?
Joey Chestnut.
Joey
Chestnut.
Chestnut.
Joey
I was going
Chestnut.
to say walnut.
Yeah. But Kobayashi, he's like a fat dude. Yeah, isn't
No,
he?
Kobayashi.
Oh, he's
jacked.
They're both.
Oh.
They're both little guys.
Yeah, they're both
Yeah.
little guys. Yeah. How the fuck? How does that work?
They can expand their stomach.
Yeah, well,
That's
it's
the king of the
it's-
hill theory. That's
right,
from
it's just-
Khan.
It's just a guy sitting there eating one meal. It's not like they're like gluttons overall. He just has like a more, elastic stomach, I guess.
That's a long bow to call it one meal by
Yeah.
eating 80 hot dogs. Like,
Cheat
I'm just
day.
gonna have a little. Yeah, I'm just gonna have
That's
a little
like
meal.
That's like one
it is.
sitting.
It is
sure,
actually
technically.
Australia is the country that is responsible for the most caloric appetizer, which is
The blue
I didn't-
onion?
actually the Aussie cheese fries. Aussie cheese fries are like
More
hell
than the
yeah.
Bloomin'
Yeah,
Onion.
yeah. I
Yeah,
think
what's
so.
the best Outback Steakhouse here, guys? We want
Yeah,
to go to
you
the
guys
best
have
one while
Outback
we're here.
Steakhouse?
I know they don't
It
have
hasn't
it.
got here yet.
Yeah,
When
we-
in Rome.
we
I
had
don't think the guys that created Outback Steakhouse had like never been to Australia.
Yeah, they're
It
from
was just some
Florida.
like coked up, Tampa businessmen.
Yeah.
They're like, buddy, I got a fucking idea.
Because we don't. Yeah, it's just riding off the back of Crocodile Dundee still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
30 years later.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
We
called
don't-
American Steakhouse out here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. No, not at all.
We don't know what blooming onions are.
Well, it's
What
an
the
onion.
fuck?
It's an onion, and then they like
Slice it up.
Yeah, but they slice it in a way. I don't know what that would be called. They have like a specific press where the onion, it looks like French fries, I
Right.
guess. So it blooms.
Oh,
basically,
right.
into like French fry sized. It's actually an amazing.
It's
appetizer.
incredible.
Sounds
Yeah.
great.
It's a
Yeah.
deep fried
Oh,
onion.
then
I wish we had some of this Australian food in Australia. But yeah.
Well, it's
What
an
the fuck is
egg
wrong with
batter,
you guys?
an egg batter, and then it's breaded in some kind of like Cajun. A lot of the food is actually like Cajun at Outback Steakhouse. It's like
Yeah.
Cajun inspired, and then some like Cajun breading or whatever.
Right.
And then they deep fry it, and then you dip it in like this like southwestern kind of like chipotle
Ranch.
mayo. Yeah.
Oh,
Man,
goddamn.
It's fucking really good.
Yeah.
Every time we've been to the States, we've been like, we've got to go to Outback Steakhouse, even
Yeah.
just as a joke. And then
Yeah.
it's like, it feels too fucked.
Yeah,
To
yeah,
just,
yeah.
the waiters will hear the accents and we'll just,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
The waiters will
yeah.
start doing the accent.
Yeah.
So what I love about Outback Steakhouse is you can call any one of them in like the United States. I haven't done it in like 10 years, but you can call them, and then there's like an outgoing voicemail if you call them like after hours. It's like, "Good day, mate. Thanks for calling the Outback Steakhouse on Winchester Road." You know,
Yeah, right.
it's like somebody at the restaurant that has to fucking like do the voice.
Do the voice.
Right. Yeah.
That's what's great about that show The Good Place is on at the moment, and they've set it like in Australia, and it's like there's so many Australian actors in America, and they haven't employed any of them, and they've just got
Hilarious.
American people doing bad Australian
that's
accents.
your,
Yeah,
like,
the
yeah.
ultimate
That's your
flex.
cause. That's like you guys being mad at like being trans people that are mad at Jared Leto.
Yeah.
Exactly like
You guys
that.
are
We
mad
gotta-
at like you have fake Australians.
That's good. Yeah, we got to take on NBC for this one.
Yeah.
Let's get the shittiest Hemsworth a job.
Yeah.
Let's get the
Is
lowest
there a third
Hemsworth.
or a fourth?
I think there is. Isn't
I think there are 4 of them. Yeah.
Yeah, there's Chris, Kyle, Grumpy, Sleepy.
Yeah. Kyle, that's me. Yeah, I'm one of them.
Oh wow, man, you look
You're a
way worse than your
Hemsworth?
brothers.
Well, hot take.
He knows the Avalanches.
Yeah. Did I mention that?
Yeah. Did you say that?
Big band in America.
We got to say, big relief. This has gone well so far. Again, another bit of trepidation we had coming in here was the last American guests that we had on the show.
Who'd you get?
Well,
We're a
hold
bit
on.
anxious
we
coming in.
We are consummate professionals.
Yeah.
You know, we're broadcasters.
Yeah.
Born
Well, we
to do this.
thought the same about these other guys that came in
Yeah.
here the other week.
Yeah.
We had a man by the name of Pablo Francisco.
Yeah. You're one of your peers, I believe.
Hey, look, I love Pablo.
Yeah.
And he's probably a fucking train wreck in his personal life, but
Yeah.
I would be surprised if I went to a Pablo show and wasn't like extremely entertained.
Oh man, you should have been at this podcast then, because
Yeah.
he was doing
He was
plenty
my
of.
favorite comedian when I was like 13.
He's so goddamn fun. I mean, I saw him like probably like even like 11 years ago, and he's on stage and just like beads of sweat all over the crowd. He's like, oh right, and then he'll just go into this like hilarious bit that requires like all this energy and physicality. And he's like, is this man overdosing? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we had him and his support act, Steve Kramer, on together.
Oh,
and let me ask you
Kramer
this.
used the N-word.
What? I wish he had. That would have been preferable. What do you think? What about if Arnold Schwarzenegger was having sex with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Oh,
what do you
hell
think
yeah.
about that?
I actually
it's,
love
I think
that.
it's
I think
it's
it's
a
got legs.
classic
Yeah.
Pablo bit. And you know, hey, look.
Let's
play to
give
your
that a
strengths.
spin. I'm gay.
little tortilla boy.
Go
dude.
down on my dick.
Suck me off, Arthur Arnold.
Now this is more like it.
Well, I think it's taken you boys 2 seconds to think of. He's been doing for the last 20 years.
Look, don't fuck with the classic.
I love
If you
little
think,
tortilla boy.
look, we may take 2 seconds, but we'll
Yeah.
be doing that for another 25 years.
Yeah.
Oh man, it started our new routine. What if Crocodile Dundee fucked Crocodile Dundee?
Oh, there we go. Now
Oh,
we're
you,
talking.
that's not a dick. This is a dick. Open wide.
I was hoping that would happen when I fucked an Australian woman. Then she would see my penis and go, "That's not a dick."
So you have fucked an Australian woman.
No, yes, but yes, I have.
Oh, nice.
But I'm not saying it's here. You know what I'm saying? Could have
Yeah.
been in. This,
Okay.
Could have been anywhere. Could have been at the airport.
Well, it wouldn't have been on the set of
I like
The Good
that, like,
Place.
any public discussion of you fucking on the show is like, all of these women, like, just don't want anyone to find out they had sex with you.
yeah. I'm like, baby.
So you just, I can't even say, I mean, she may be from a country. I don't want to narrow it down to 80 million people. Unless that woman get angry that people find out
Listen,
we fucked.
dude, it's all about secrecy.
if a woman is known to have fucked you, like, she'll never get married. No one will ever love her.
It's a black mark on her family.
Yeah.
2 generations deep.
Is that like a?
No one will ever love
Great
that
grandchildren can't own property.
Yeah.
If anyone finds out I fucked them.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're not allowed to vote anymore. Yep, we found out about that Greek.
That's quite a scarlet letter she has there.
Because I asked a mutual friend of ours that knows some of you guys. I was like, "Oh, we're doing the podcast with the Cumtown Boys this morning. Is there anything we should bring up?" And all the stuff this person gave me was about you hooking up.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I like to be. Yeah, I like to think of myself as an icon for the plus size horny community.
Right,
So,
right.
Yeah, we can fuck irresponsibly too. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
I heard a story. Is this true about you making out with a 60-year-old woman on a park
Yeah, I
bench?
did. yeah. That was in beautiful Tampa, Florida, home of
you
Outback
guys gotta
Steakhouse.
go there. You
Yeah.
have to go to Tampa.
Home Outback Steakhouse.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like it was a restaurant group in Tampa.
It's also the strip club capital of America too.
Ah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Is that related to you making out with a 60-year-old on a park
no,
bench?
this was not a working girl. This was just for I guess.
a porkin' girl.
Yeah,
Right.
I
A
tried.
pork
I
girl.
had tried to fuck her and she turned me down hilariously. But I was just at a show at Side Splitters Comedy Club. Shouts out to them. And we had
Does it do what it says on the tin? Side Splitters Comedy. It really
Yeah.
paints a really evocative picture.
Exactly.
Mhm. Yeah.
Is a guy laughing really hard on the picture?
Nice,
It's really
that
good.
sounds funny.
Yeah.
Comedy clubs have the best names.
Yeah. Is there a
Um,
50s Elvis-style microphone in the logo for the club?
No,
man.
not in this one.
Man,
unfortunately.
Just every
Yeah.
shitty comedian.
That's
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
obsessed with that. Yeah.
We know-
fucking the worst.
It's awesome.
Extra points if it's on fire as well.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
Jerry Lee Lewis wasn't a fucking stand-up. Stop putting
right.
those microphones in
Those
fucking
guys are
places.
the best.
It was
no
funny
one
when-
good at stand up has that. Like the tattoo. We know some gems in Baltimore.
There
that
was
have
a
that
guy.
tattoo.
Yeah, there was a guy in San Antonio. San Antonio is probably the worst comedy scene in the entire world. You know, like I mean, I haven't been to like Mogadishu, but they probably have like one guy that knows how to write
They
a
got a
bit.
couple guys.
Yeah.
San Antonio is the fucking worst scene, and there are funny people from San Antonio, but like the culture of that scene. And there's this one guy that showed up to the club in Austin one time. These two San Antonio comics, and the guy had a custom-made leather jacket where like on the pockets and on like the fringe were all of these tiny microphone tassels.
Hell yes.
Cool.
So he had a comedy leather jacket
Right.
Yes.
that he
Yes.
wore to a show he was not on.
But what's worse, wearing it to a show that you're not on, or wearing it on a show where you are on, and you've got microphone tassels on stage?
I mean, it would make more sense if you were on the
Sure.
show
Yeah.
than if you're just some guy going to a comedy show wearing your stand-up comedy leather jacket.
Yeah. Nothing better than the open micer that's like seen all the big guys that have a very clear
Yeah.
brand and image and gone, righto, get that sorted out, and then
Right.
the jokes come later.
Let's
Just
start with
have the
branding.
look and then work back from there.
He
I
showed
need
up with
business cards.
this woman who was a sex worker, which
Hell
like
yeah.
not that was like the least embarrassing thing about her.
Yeah.
She was,
Like on
all-
a date with her?
No, she was just like around.
His friend.
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
their friends. And I think it was Norm Macdonald was at the club, and she cornered Norm Macdonald after he headlined the club and was giving him like tags and advice.
Oh my
I've
god.
been doing comedy 6 months.
That's
Just, like,
Yeah.
This is the
awesome.
girlfriend of the guy.
It wasn't his girlfriend.
Guy.
They just like traveled up to the club, together.
Right.
But yeah.
Man, it was
And
just-
that's more a reflection on San Antonio than her as a person.
It's
Or
the
certainly
fattest
sex
city in
workers.
The
America.
fattest city in America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Or it's top 10. Perennial top 10.
Quite a distinction.
There was
Yeah.
an open micer that I knew that when he started, he decided to start going to gigs wearing like a jacket that had question marks all over it, like
Oh,
the Riddler.
Yeah,
like
he
the
dressed as the
Riddler.
Riddler.
Hell
But
yeah.
it's
That's
like-
funny.
But then he makes no reference to it in his act.
That's great.
But I was looking at him going, why the fuck would this guy have done this? And then I was like, could he possibly have fucked up and was thinking of the Joker?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
that's more comedy. But
Right.
he just got it wrong and was like the Riddler?
When I was a kid, I didn't know the difference between jokes and riddles.
Yeah.
I thought they were the same thing.
That would be
Interesting.
amazing, someone seeing that, getting up on stage with that. So
Yeah.
you're at an open mic and your act is just you asking
Yeah.
these open-ended,
Yeah,
weird questions of the audience.
Riddle me this. What if Arnie fucked Arnie? You know?
I was in, my parents live in Vegas, and I went to go do a mic a couple years ago when I was visiting them, and there was a guy in full Star Trek, like
Hell
must
yeah.
have taken 6 hours, like
rules.
professional makeup, like he was like an alien,
Right.
And his whole act was like, I
think
hear
that-
they want to close the borders to illegal aliens, which is tough for me because I'm an alien.
That's so funny. NBC used to have like a stand-up for a diversity showcase.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and me and Flores were laughing about just like me and like I mean Flores can't do it because he's Mexican or
Hispanic,
whatever.
yeah.
But yeah, just to show up in like a Starfleet uniform with like with like Vulcan ears, and be, live long and prosper. Try to do the,
But it was like we were
try to do the
we were literally at a mic at a strip club, and this guy did professional like industrial light and magic, like fucking professional makeup that must have taken 6 hours
For one joke.
to go to that fucking open
mic. Yeah.
Right.
3 minutes.
And did it get a good response at the very least?
No.
Great. Awesome.
And then
I was laughing.
Yeah.
I was maybe the only person laughing.
I mean,
I loved it.
That's funny, dude.
It's funny
I
as
think
shit.
it's funny too.
That's awesome.
So then the rest of
fact
this-
that he needs to put in because I'm an alien is the best. Is
Because
so
I'm
great.
an alien. As you can see.
Like taking all that time and
I
effort
took-
to do the makeup and then going like, better just really make it clear.
Yeah.
But then was the rest of his set not about Star Trek? Was he?
No, it
then-
was all alien themed.
Oh,
I mean, his whole act is.
That's okay.
I took a picture of him. I think I'll show it. To you guys.
That's way better if it's like if it's just one joke about aliens.
Man, if
just
the
in
rest
the middle.
of his set had been about The Bachelor or something like that, while he's still dressed as
Just dating. Yeah. My fucking wife.
I'm trying to stop
He's
smoking
just,
weed.
right. He's just going off about Donald Trump. He's just doing Greg Proops' act.
And Carl, we got to drop in on the middle of the episode here to let these good folks know about ShipStation.
man. It's my pleasure.
So, when you're selling stuff online, you need to use ShipStation.com. If you sell on Amazon, eBay, Magento 2, your own website, ShipStation is the fast and easy way to manage and ship your orders all from one place. You can manage it all on any mobile any device, even your mobile phone. Then, you create shipping labels for top carriers, including Australia Post and Sendle. And, with ShipStation, you do it all in one place. It is the popular choice for online sellers across Australia.
We've signed up for it, and we through Australia Post. So hey, we do what we talk about on this thing.
Yep. Check them out, and it's very cool of them to support the show. And head to ShipStation.com. Use the promo code DUM. That is going to give you a free 30 days, and also a little bonus treat. They're always very coy about what this is in their ad
What
copy.
do you reckon it is? I'd love to know what the bonus treat is.
I understand them wanting it to be a bit of a surprise for the listeners that are going to follow this up, but they could, they could level with us.
Yeah, I
Why
mean-
they got to be so secret with us when we're pitching this goddamn thing?
If their job is like basically what you're dealing with these guys is you're getting like envelopes. You're getting envelopes that you can put stuff in and then post it. What treat are they giving you? Are they giving you like a little chockey in there? Or
That's what immediately springs to my mind. Treat in my mind is food based.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah, little after dinner treat.
I bet it's a fucking keyring or something like that.
Might be like a cheesecake.
A full cheesecake.
What if you just get this parcel in the mail and it's like 75 postage bags
Yep.
plus a Sara Lee cheesecake?
That's pretty good.
That would be a weird package, but good.
I feel bad speculating about this because now all we're creating is just, anger in people when they don't get a Sara Lee cheesecake in the post.
Hey, but if you guys go and sign up, get on board. But when you do, please let us know what the treat is.
Yep. ShipStation.com, promo code DUM. That's going to let them know that you came over to them from your pals here at the Little Dum Dum Club. Support them, it supports us, and everyone's happy. All right, guys, check out ShipStation and enjoy the rest of the episode.
And enjoy that treat. Well, that's the thing, because you guys are all from New York. We've been to New York, done some gigs and whatever, and everyone from here kind of thinks of New York as like, the home of comedy, and everyone there is like amazing. Everyone there is
Not
fucking
true at
Chris
all.
Rock and all
Yeah.
that sort of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Most people are shit.
Well,
yeah,
it's
well,
like,
that's the good thing. Like, we got there and went, oh man, it's just the same as this town.
Yeah.
There's like heaps of good people, but then there's fucking heaps of awful people.
It's like that everywhere.
But
Yeah.
it's just like
Yeah.
there are the best comics do live there, and it's the most of them. But the worst comics are also there.
Yeah.
The most of the worst are also there.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
it is fucking insane.
We went and did one gig. The only like open mic gig that we did there, we were on just after a guy that got up and was like trying to sexually harass the girl in the front row of the audience, and then got up and then talked about him trying to fuck someone with special needs because they orgasm really well.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then he walks off
Okay.
stage and
Did
then
an act out.
Yeah, did the whole act out.
Yeah.
Nice.
It
The
didn't
voice.
even bother putting on hours of Star Trek. Who's that guy? Remember that time we were at the creek in the cave and that guy got up and he's like, "Oh no, it was me and Jake," and
What
we were
happened?
just watching shitty open micer after shitty open micer. And then some guy got up that was like probably mentally disabled, and he's like, "Oh, my dick is fucking small."
I can't believe he's doing my ad.
It sucks. And I was like,
that's it. I
weeping.
feel like us describing like the one open mic that we did over there that was very bad, and we're like, we come back and we're like, Jesus Christ. But I feel like saying that to people who actually live and gig in New York is like, yeah, man, that's every open
that's
mic
Monday.
over there.
It might just be my experience, but I mean, I fucked around with open mics and bar shows a little bit my first like year in New York, but for the most part, over the last couple of years, I do spots at like 2 of the clubs.
Yep.
Like at most like 6 spots a month. I'm not like really doing that much stand up. So there's this whole like this idea of like New York being like people doing spots that exists at like the far upper end of the spectrum.
Right.
If you're like already famous and you're at like the cellar every night and bouncing around, or you're at the like the bottom
In hell.
80%.
Yeah.
Just going from like bar to bar in Bushwick where there's 0 fucking audience and it's like just like other comedians.
200 comics. There's a lottery. You get 2 minutes. Everyone's looking at their phones, preparing their 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It's literally hell.
Yeah.
We did one of those. We did one of those at Creek and Cave years ago, and we're like, oh, okay. And when there's no audience, there's just comics checking their phones. And I remember saying, when does the audience get here? And they go, there's no audience. There's not supposed to be an audience.
Yeah.
Like, this is your game plan? This is the aim?
Yeah, the bar is so low.
Yeah.
No, I remember.
No, this is on purpose.
Me and Eli.
I came fast because I wanted to.
Me and Eli Uden ran a show at like fucking Pine Box. I remember that show.
I remember that
Pine
show.
Box. Yeah, and it's like week after week there would be like one audience member, and like Eli would be like, "Okay, you want to start it?" No, I just don't ever want to do this.
You'd be out on the street just begging people to come inside.
Begging people to ruin their evening.
Yeah,
Have
begging
a
people to come
bad
inside,
night.
and then you bomb, and then it's like, I don't know why I did this.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
All right, you've convinced us. We're moving the podcast to New York.
Yeah, you gotta do
Gonna
it,
do it.
guys.
Oh, man, but we're super fascinated. As soon as we get crazy people here in Melbourne, it's like, oh, it's the only thing we can talk about. It's like, great.
Right.
We just want to hear more stories about what this crazy person has done at this gig or whatever it is. So it's good in a way that you guys can have tabs on like 50 to 100 crazy people.
But there's not many crazy people. I mean, like the real whack jobs that do comedy don't move to New York. They stay in like
they're all in
fucking-
your local scene.
Yeah, they're all-
Yeah.
We know way more from DC.
From
'cause
Baltimore,
we all
DC,
did comedy together in Baltimore and DC.
Right.
Yeah.
So we know way more from there than
Right.
you know.
I
And
mean,
at least the freaks here, they shine really bright. Like they do really stick out
Yeah.
Yeah.
when they
Right
are
after
around.
we left DC, I would just follow like the local scene was just everyone was calling each other out on Facebook.
Yeah.
And saying like you're never allowed in my rooms again and like fuck you and like just people being messy on the internet with each other, and it's like so insane to watch, but it's so
We
fun.
have that here. I love the culture of a Facebook page for a city's open mic scene.
Yeah.
And there'll just be a scrap every
Oh,
4
yeah.
days.
There
about
was,
some poster or some shit.
There was a guy, I don't know if I talked about him ever before, but at Wiseacres there was a guy who would come that was the sit-down comic, and it was a guy in a motorized wheelchair who was like probably quadriplegic, and he was always dressed nice, and they had a ramp that would like bring him up to the stage, and then he had this like very tall like African assistant who like looked like, you ever see I Heart Huckabees?
Yep.
You know the African guy you keep
that
seeing
keeps
everywhere?
popping
He
up.
looked
yeah.
like that guy.
Right.
And he would just hold the microphone for this disabled white man in a suit while he told these like shitty one-liners.
Right.
And he was just like a James Bond villain, basically. And it's like, you never see that in New York.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, right.
it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like as crazy as it gets is like some guy that like did okay in his scene and was delusional enough
Yeah.
to think that he could like, make it happen in New York.
Yeah.
There's one guy that we're all obsessed with from back in Baltimore, and now like people were asking us in Sydney about him because we talk about him in on
Yeah. There's a guy. There's a guy that you talk about a bit on your show.
Yeah.
Who your listeners have kind of
He's like
started harassing him.
internationally famous.
Yeah,
now.
yeah. Great. But you're kind of like, you're sort of mocking him a bit, I guess.
Oh, we're
Oh.
bullying him.
Yeah, okay,
We're
yeah.
being mean to him.
Well, the thing is like he kind of already existed in that capacity in the world of like DC comedy.
For sure.
It's like that. It's not like it's not a thing we created. I mean, he's been like kind of this sort of laughing stock for 15 years.
Yeah.
And
Like I said, I listened to your show. I've watched the clips of him. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
He rocks.
Yeah.
No, we're merely historians. We're documenting Tom Myers for the world.
Yeah, and it's like we talk about him in the same capacity that we did, years ago. It's just like the show kind of blew up and got really popular, and it's like now other people know about.
This
about
poor
him.
guy.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it really affects him negatively. I think for a while I thought maybe it did, but then I listened to him on some show where
It's awesome.
it's great. He's like, Mullen has tried everything he can to destroy me.
We're in like the idea that we're in like a fucking control room. We just have like maps spread out and like we've bugged his phone line.
Well, he has a child's mind.
Right.
So he thinks about things in terms of like archenemies or whatever.
Right.
Which doesn't exist. Actually, it would be a nicer world if enemies existed, because then that means that you like cared about someone enough to be their fucking enemy. Not just like caustically dismissive of this disabled man trying to be a comedian.
See, a lot of the time I listen to your show and I'm like, God, that must be... Like, there's an episode where you're just listening to one of his CDs and just commentating it. And it's like, God, it would be good to just formalize the bullying that we do off mic and just go fully professional with it.
We got a favourite guy that got this amazing review one year in the comedy festival where like the meanest reviewer that comes from overseas came and reviewed his show, but for some reason, like, this guy should be spending his time, this reviewer should be spending his time, like, reviewing the top echelon comics, but instead, this guy has just found the biggest garbage dump of a comic and gone, I'm just going to flex on this guy.
That's mean.
Man, and it was just like full-on David versus Goliath, except in the story where Goliath absolutely fucking kills that little cunt.
He'll come out and he'll review, like, Jim Gaffigan was here this year, so he'll review him for the purposes of his website, but then he'll also just find a show in the comedy festival that's going to have like 3 people in the audience by an open micer who's been doing comedy for 6 months and just go in and go,
but this guy,
I am going to ruin this kid's life.
I'll read the first paragraph.
psycho.
I'll read the first paragraph of the review, which we fucking nearly know by heart. So it goes, so the start of it says, I have to be careful here lest I leave the wrong impression. If I report that name redacted is so lazy and unprofessional, he didn't put the stage light on, so performed in darkness, that he chomped away on a cheeseburger during his show.
I see nothing wrong.
Yeah, this guy rules. Don't fucking look at me. I'm having lunch. That is not my job.
I eat in the dark.
And then he seemed so tetchy towards the audience who paid good money to see his show. You
Good
might think that
money.
this was kind of so bad it's good anti-comedy. It is not. He has the first clue about comedy, which he seems to confuse with talking out loud. Fuck, it's so good. So he was just eating. So it says he was eating cheeseburgers during the show, talking about Twilight vibrators. And
Vibrators from the movie Twilight?
Yeah.
Yes.
So they like sparkle or...
Yeah, I don't know. Mate,
Is this a review about you?
I want to know that.
I would
bit.
love it if there was a review about me that said I just sat in the dark eating cheeseburgers.
That's it. We all mock him, but it's like, it sounds fucking great.
Yeah.
Like, you're not having to worry about any of the tech in your show. You just have dinner during it if you haven't had the chance to eat
So
beforehand.
then this guy moved to Tasmania, which is like our little island in
Yeah,
the south
sure.
or whatever, right? And so then we found out that there was like some show went down there and toured down there, and he turned up because it was comedy there. And he turned up and just got to all the comics and said, see that hospital over there? And they're like, okay, we haven't seen this guy for a year. But anyway, yes, we see that hospital. Yeah, my girlfriend lives there and she gets raped by the doctors every night. And I'm like, okay, well, good to catch up. And then he gave this envelope.
Doctors, by the way.
Yeah, the doctors.
Not like a fucking a rogue janitor at a hospital. Some guy just fucking performed cardiothoracic surgery. He's like, what'll fucking
head of
really...
Well, he would have to break up with her if it was the janitor.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind if my girlfriend got raped by a doctor.
These doctors are going, well, what's the use of having all this anesthetic if we don't put it to good use?
Sure, exactly.
I told a story on our show a while back. There was I used to do like extra work here and there. And and I was an extra on the show Blue Bloods. And I was sitting in holding with all these people, and there was this like crazy lady sitting across from me, and on the other side of the room there was two guys having like a quiet conversation to themselves, and this guy's like, "Oh well, yeah, my friend Richard Murray, who worked on," and then this woman like looks over and she's like, "Richard? Oh yeah, I know him. He raped me."
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
And then,
Wait.
Then
tell
the guy and the
tell
guy.
post group. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna.
Sorry.
What the fuck is that?
sorry.
Hey,
Oh, tell the rest of the
Tell the best part of the story. Don't forget that one.
Yeah.
Don't forget the best part.
Do you want to tell it?
Sorry.
Adam, you just sit there and chomp on your cheeseburger, okay?
Don't stop after the setup. Right?
No.
Push through.
Sorry.
But Tom Myers doesn't get it
I'm
anyway.
very excited. I'm very excited about this.
Do it like we do in Australia.
Yeah.
Do the funny bit.
You know, they have an interaction with the guy's like, Richard from Connecticut or something, and she's like, "Oh, I guess it's a different guy." And then she like goes back doing her crossword, and like I would tell people this story or whatever, just as an example of how like nuts extras are. But like with most things, like time goes on, and I remember these absurd moments, and it's like, did I just like make that up? That lady couldn't have been that crazy. And then 2 weeks ago, in New York, some lady, there was like a viral story, is like a woman called the cops on a 9-year-old black kid for sexually assaulting her because she said he grabbed her ass. And then like the security camera footage shows like his backpack
He's
just
nowhere
brushes
near her.
against.
Just, yeah.
No, it absolutely did not grab her ass.
Right.
And
And
then
the
it
kid
blew
was
up.
crying and stuff.
And then
Right.
I saw a picture of this lady, and I'm like, that's her.
Oh,
That's fucking her.
wow.
And then I did some digging, and it's absolutely her.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Jesus.
Becky.
Clang. That is a
Yeah.
fucking name drop if you knew her name. But
Yeah. No, because they published her name. Like this
Yeah.
lady's spot got blown. This was like a huge story.
Right.
It went viral on like Twitter
Yeah, then
and
she
shit.
apologized. She's like crying and apologized.
Yeah.
So both that incident, because that was on TV on the news, I guess, and the show you were in, are they both on her IMDb page? If
Yeah.
This is part of the
She's
same shared
credited
universe.
for sexual assault, quote unquote, victim number
Got a
one.
TV spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this guy so he points out the hospital and the atrocities happening within with his girlfriend,
Yeah.
which absolutely did not happen.
Right.
But then he said, and they're sitting there going, well, what? Okay, well that's sad or that's bad or whatever. And then he goes, yeah, I've got all the evidence right here in this envelope. And I need to give it to you to bring back to the mainland. And they're like, oh, fuck, okay. Now this is on us.
He's just holding.
Computers do not exist, by the way.
He's just holding the envelope to his head. Oh, they came in her ass and her pussy. Vaginal tearing, bruised uterus.
So then it's like, okay, are we supposed to bring this back to the state premier or the head of police or whatever it is? No. This other open micer I know in Melbourne, he'll know what to do with this.
Yeah, specific, and it was addressed to this guy. So he just turns up our friend just turns up at this gig and goes, I got given this to give to you about busting some rapist doctors down here.
the ring of rapist doctors in the Hobart Hospital.
Yeah.
But you do a good 5 minutes, so if you can take it from here.
Yeah.
Those are some real Tasmanian devils in that house. Thank you.
We met that guy, that crazy guy. We met him at a gig, kind of a gig that we hung out at heaps when we first started hanging out together. This open mic at Sin Bar that was run by. It was run by like an elderly magician, an old man magician, and his son who was also a magician, or his like apprentice magician. So it was a young and old magician that ran it.
Yeah.
And we go in, and it was we were working on a community TV show, and it would start when we would finish like working on the show. So it would be like, oh, cool, we'll go and do spots, and heaps of us would go and hang out.
We'll go down to the Cantina Band fucking Star Wars bar of stand-up comedy.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
It's just a freak house.
This piece of shit bar, but then we turn up and it's it's fun and whatever, and the people running it get excited and they're like, oh, cool, you guys can come down any week you want and do spots and stuff. And so, like, the second or third week we turn up, they had gotten a TV screen installed in this corner of the bar, and they had gone onto all of our Facebook pages without knowing any of us particularly well, and had made up this slideshow of photos of all of us where they were just roasting us. Like they'd written captions, like fucking Mad Magazine style, just
Sounds
going.
like you got owned.
Yeah. Like mine was a photo of
He
me.
got raped harder than that guy in the guy's girlfriend in the hospital. Yeah.
Mine was a photo of me just with some friends on a camping trip, and the caption is like, "Here's Tommy Dasilo before the facial reconstruction surgery." It's like, what the fuck?
Which didn't make sense. Because, like, that was implying that you look good now?
Right.
Or-
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was just like, you're always welcome anytime here, guys. Like, no, I think we're good.
No, but the same guy, this is the same guy where he wouldn't actually watch the show. He'd just go out in the balcony and then he'd pop in to sort of see if the show was still going okay. And he popped in one day and said to me, "Is this show going okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I think so." And he goes, "Okay, I got to get back on the balcony. I've never fucked a cripple." What? And then you look out and there's like a lady in crutches on the balcony.
Yeah. Who'd been on? Who'd been on at the gig, I think. Yeah.
My man got head on that veranda from a woman that can't walk without assistance.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
if you did really well, it was like, it was like Carson saying, "Come over and sit on the seat over here next to me." It was like if you'd done well, he'd go, "Hey, do you want to come and do my show that goes at midnight, an hour away, that we talk about aliens on?" Like, not really. We don't want to do any of those 3 bits.
Yeah. I thought you were saying it was like Carson, where it's like if you do well, you get to fuck the magician.
Yeah.
That's the secret of this open mic. Recently on this show, we've done a thing where because I feel like, I don't know, how do you guys feel about your specific fan base? Are you...
We hate them.
You're intimidated by... They seem... Like on your Reddit is pretty wild stuff.
No, I think for the most part, our fans are pretty cool and nice.
Yeah.
When we meet them at shows, they're all pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
probably like 20 insane people with any fan base, but
Because we had a thing recently on the show where we were... long story short, we were trying to get Carl's cat as the face of a cat food company. They had like a publicly voted competition.
We rigged the vote
And
and
we
we
tried
won
to-
by heaps.
Yeah, we pushed our listeners like, vote for Carl's cat. Here's the link and everything. And then this lady who had been winning before Carl's cat entered starts going insane on their Facebook
Our,
page.
our fans
going,
would be like, instead, let's change the name of the company to Adam's parents' home address, and we'll mail them bomb threats.
Yeah.
Call in bomb threats
Yeah.
until they do
Well,
it.
don't worry. Yeah, other people in the competition, including the cats, got threatened with death not long after. So,
Sending death threats to this old woman that was like, why isn't my cat Cinnamon winning anymore? So they start harassing her online, and then the cat ends up getting disqualified for the competition, even though it won, because the cat food company listened to this and
That's
went,
just the
"This is
nature
fucked."
of like broadcasting fans, and I think
Yeah.
it's like it stems because it all grew out of like Stern and O&A and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like if you have a popular radio show, especially if it's like a comedy show, it's just eventually the fans are going to be, monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we make $40,000 a month. So
Yes. Are you okay to talk about? Because you got edited out of an ad that you'd been in
yeah.
because of your listeners.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
I lost. They reshot one with another Jewish guy that looks like me.
What? Because of your
Yeah.
pod.
Because like all our fans were like going on the YouTube comments like, "Go come town," whatever.
how'd they find another guy in Brooklyn that looks like you?
It's
Adam?
impossible. I know. I am so unique.
Yeah, but man, 40,000. Thanks for letting us know. 40,000 a month.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, for a podcast.
US.
Yeah,
That's insane.
it's crazy.
What do you?
Yeah, it's
we don't
US
deserve
dollars.
yeah.
Not your little
Think
bullshit
Adam
Australian
Clare-
dollars.
Yeah.
Dollaroos over
Yeah,
there.
Everything
yeah.
costs $90.
It's a lot of blooming onions.
Yeah. Well, we insist to get paid in blooming. We don't see a cent.
Yeah.
We get paid directly in blooming onions.
Yeah.
So you make a nice
I
profit.
mean, yeah, we're very lucky, obviously.
Yeah.
It's fun.
No, radio fans are interesting. I mean, it's like I used to worry about it, but then I gave out my home address on the show,
Right.
and like people only send me like, I mean, sometimes I get weird fan art, but it's like if I was going to be mailed a bomb, it would have happened by now.
Interesting,
Yeah.
because I read out his phone number on the show a few years ago, and I don't think he's had such a positive experience with it.
No.
Phone numbers are different, I
No,
think.
people have my phone number. I get like texts from.
Oh, really?
people and
Oh, yeah.
shit,
Okay.
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's like, it's not really a big deal. I mean,
Okay, so listeners of the Little Dum Dum Club, you could learn a thing or two from the listeners of a show called
Yeah.
Come Town.
Yeah. No, I'm. Mine calmed down a little bit, but
Yeah.
now lately I've copped a few people. But
what were you getting?
I signed up to a lot of stuff.
Oh,
signed
yeah.
up to a lot of
yeah.
stuff.
Oh, I'm signed up. There's somebody that uses my email address on like FetLife or whatever, which is like
yeah.
a fetish website, which like I don't give a shit. But I get it's funny because it's like that's the only thing anyone's done that's bothered me because I get emails that is like, Stacy rape lover like has sent you a message, but then it doesn't show you the message.
Oh,
Right.
It's like click here to see the message. It's like, well, what the fuck is in that message?
You could probably reset the password.
I don't want to reset the password because they're doing a thing, and I think it's going to culminate in something. Hopefully, I'll see where this project ends up.
Well, I would get a lot of signed up for erectile dysfunction clinics and whatever,
Yeah.
which is tricky because then they ring up and they say we're from this erectile dysfunction clinic. We want to talk to you, Carl. And then I'm like, this is not me. And they're like, we get a lot of that. Anyway, this is how, and they would just push through, and you can't get off the phone. They would just keep going. They're like, that's the natural reaction to this phone call. But anyway, this spray.
Someone changed the number for a burrito restaurant to your phone number. And you were getting orders for burritos.
I was getting a lot of complaints about cold tacos.
Yeah. And then you just started pretending to be the restaurant.
Yeah.
At a certain
I was
point.
just taking pictures of my drunk friends passed out and
Yeah,
saying, this is the chef. So no shit, your fucking stuff's cold.
Oh yeah, the people who listen to our show don't really do shit like, at least in terms of like my experience. And
Yeah.
they have all of Adam's information or whatever, and they really hate him. And
Yeah, they do.
from what I understand, it's not like anybody's ever like done anything really to his family. So
Well, you guys, you make good money off the Patreon, and we need to. Yeah, I mean, we do well off the Patreon, but we're of this show. But
Yeah.
we're looking to.
It's not 40K.
We're looking to get some
American.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're looking to get some new
USD.
money-making schemes going. We're going to do this thing in the next couple of weeks where we're going to do an episode that's like, that album that Wu-Tang put out where it just like they sold one
Oh, the
copy
Martin
of it to
Shkreli
one.
album?
Yeah. So we're going to do an episode of this podcast that's like that.
Oh, that's
we
good.
haven't worked out a price tag
Except it's
yet,
not
but
$1 million. It's like $1,000. We
Yeah,
call
yeah.
it $1,000.
We're going to make 1,000. We're going to make
I
the
like
person
that.
sign a form where they can't release it in any way.
I was gonna do an episode of our show that's like an hour-long live read, sell it to one company, and sell it for like $15,000 to $20,000.
Oh,
Get an hour-long read.
Yep.
just
should,
an ad.
man.
Just an ad
why,
the whole time.
why the fuck not? Yeah.
Yeah.
instead
Yeah.
of- yeah. One
One giant billboard.
Yeah, it's one show a month. It's like an hour-long live read, and I think we could do it.
What's the most appropriate company you think you could sell that to?
You'd be surprised, man. A lot of companies like don't have a problem working with us, or they
Right.
did before we were making money. But then once you start making money, people are like, "Oh no, this is a legitimate business."
Yeah.
Right.
I would
So-
like to get Fleshlight in the mix.
Yeah.
That
They
seems- that
sponsor
seems-
stuff. I tried to reach out to them a couple years ago. I mean, I could probably do that again. I
That'd be
got
great.
I
That'd be
got a
great.
free Fleshlight a couple years ago at a comedy festival.
That'd be great
Yeah.
if Fleshlight said, we don't really want to be associated with someone called Cumtown.
Yeah. You'd think.
We just got a new dick pill sponsor.
Really?
Yeah. Lock that shit in.
That's
Yeah.
big. That's big for me.
That's cool.
For me too.
Yeah. I've been ordering Chinese illegal Cialis off the internet for 6 months, and I've been getting very bad headaches from it, but a very hard penis at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's a real problem.
It's funny how that shit gives you like a cold. You ever
Yeah,
fuck
yeah,
with
you're stuffed
Viagra?
up.
I've never tried it.
Yeah.
Give it a whirl.
like,
Yeah?
Tommy,
it's-
come on.
Okay.
It
What are you
locks your
doing?
sinuses up because it just makes everything engorged, so your head gets hard too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so you look like you're having like you're going into like anaphylactic shock. It's like, who's ready to fuck?
I might start doing it recreationally. I
Yeah.
might
Oh,
do
yeah.
some. Come to your show tonight.
Yeah.
Just
Please.
fucking.
Everyone who's hard at the door gets half off tickets. So show your erection to the door guy.
My friend in Sydney went to your show the other night, and his dad listens to your podcast.
That rules.
Yeah, and his dad couldn't make it to the show, so he got a video of you, Stav, to send to his dad.
Oh, yeah.
And it's you saying, "Sorry you couldn't be here. It was nice to meet you, son. We all fucked him in the mouth." And then he sent that to his dad, and then his dad wrote back to him going like, "Wow, thanks for that video from Stav. He seems like such a nice guy." Like, someone having that kind of relationship with their dad is the most mind-blowing thing to me. Like, that is fucking insane.
That's crazy.
And his dad's an Uber driver too, which I love the idea that he's going around with Cumtown playing.
That sounds like an awesome dad to have to look up
Coolest
to.
dad.
Yeah.
And definitely feel happy that that's your father.
Oh my God.
You know,
I would
What a-
trade. I would love an Uber driver, fucking come town listening father over my father.
Yeah.
Fucking.
You want your dad to listen to your podcast?
No, but if in
No.
a different universe where there's, well, my dad barely understands English, so he could probably listen to the podcast and not.
Just be nice to hear your voice.
Yeah, he came to a comedy show and just I trashed him for like 10 minutes. Did not understand any of it. It was awesome.
We never got closure on this. It's so frustrating. But we had a listener tell us that they got into an Uber and the driver was listening to this podcast.
No way.
And they were like, "Oh, the Little Dum Dum Club," and the driver was like, "Yeah," and they got the driver's name, and we were like shouting him out on the show. The guy's name was Jethro, and we're like, "Jethro, buddy, we wanted to record an episode in his Uber, but we just never
How
heard
the
anything
fuck
back
is it
from
so
him."
hard to track down someone called Jethro that drives an Uber? Like,
My man Jethro is trying to stay off the grid. You're blowing his shit up. That's not his real name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We need to get in touch with Uber, or we need to get that listener to like go into their account and follow up and go, "Hey, I know it was like a year ago, but left my phone in your car."
well,
Yeah.
I always love the idea of like, I don't know about you guys, but I love the idea of like finding out where people find your podcast from. Like, how the fuck do you find something like this? And like that's a thing where I love the idea of someone getting into a podcast off the back of being in an Uber and going,
Yeah.
"Oh wow!" Because then someone the other day was like saying, "Oh, I got into your podcast." From Tinder, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's like they just read someone's profile where they're like, "Oh, we like the Little Dum Dum Club," and they're
That's
like,
hilarious.
"Well, I want to fuck that person, so maybe I might listen to this podcast." What a fucking weird way of finding anything.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone the other day who was telling me they dated a girl and it ended very, very badly, and the girl kind of went a bit off the rails, bit nuts, and ended up keying this guy's car.
Damn.
And so he confronts her. He's like, "You keyed my car. That's fucked." And she's like, "No, I didn't. You have no evidence. You can't prove this. Da 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 da." And then a couple of months later, a friend of his is on Tinder and finds this girl, and her bio is, "Dump me and I'll key your car."
Oh,
It's like sends a screenshot to this guy, and he's like, "Well, I think this is the smoking gun in this case."
Did you ever hear that Bill Burr podcast where he's like talking about that Kelly Clarkson song?
No.
That, I dug my keys into the side of his like pretty little four-wheel drive, whatever that song or whatever. I don't want to just repeat what Burr said. But he's like, women, they just sit around and they cunt about this. They just fucking love this song. What, you going to do, like, property damage? That's because he cheated on you? Going to destroy somebody's shit?
all right, now do Bill Burr fucking Arnie.
Yeah. Just Bill Burr fucking Bill Burr.
There we go. That's good stuff.
Not my fucking ass. Yeah.
That'd be a great. I'd pay to see a whole show that is just X person fucking the same
Themselves?
person themselves. Yeah,
Yeah.
Well,
That's
come to the live show tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you come? Huh, I don't know.
well, we better wrap it up there for another week, guys.
Okay.
Thanks so much for doing this.
Thanks for having
Yeah,
us.
thanks
boys.
for having
us, guys.
Check out Cumtown, great show. We're big fans of it, and thanks very much.
Yeah,
What?
chuck
Yep.
more money into the bottomless pit of
Yeah.
Cumtown Patreon.
Yeah, we need more.
Get them up from only 40,000 US
That's
dollars.
international tours.
Unsubscribe from this fucking podcast and put it all into us. You know what I mean?
Patreon.
Thanks very much, guys, and we'll see you later.
All right,
See you, mates.
And welcome once again to another installment of Talking Dum Dum. Thank you for joining us. I am your host, Tommy Dasilo, and joining me today, very special guest, it's comedian Carl Chandler.
Thank you.
Now, you're great to finally get you in here.
I just want to bring something up. I feel like something's missing. Like something's missing.
Well, what I'm going to say to you in the intro, you've never done this show before,
Right.
so you don't know the correct etiquette, but
Okay.
you are a big fan of the Little Dum Dum Club, and you've been saying to me for ages, I want to come in and talk about it on the show Talking Dum Dum. Now, you and I just listened to the episode together. Any immediate thoughts spring to mind?
Look, I'm going to have to say, I've never listened to this show. I've been exposed. I just wanted the exposure.
Right.
I wanted to get the spot on Talking Dum Dum.
Okay. You're here to plug stuff.
Yeah. My podcast, The Little Dum Dum Club.
Okay, that's cool. So check that out, guys.
You'll get a special treat if you listen this week.
But yeah,
But from the online chatter
yeah,
that I've heard, that I've read about so far about this episode that hasn't been uploaded yet.
we send out, this is like Hollywood, we send out screeners to sort of
Right.
the taste makers of the podcast
Yeah,
industry,
yeah,
just get some advanced get some Oscar buzz going about
Yes.
our upcoming episodes.
Yeah, because we had to change it a little bit. There was like bits and pieces in there we had to take out and put back in, stuff like that, because of the response from the 100 random people that we exposed it to.
Yeah. There was a scene in this episode where Spider-Man swings around the World Trade Center, and
Yeah.
we were like, that's actually, now that I think about it, pretty distasteful.
Yeah. We didn't have a lot of N-words in there, but we had to put them in because a lot of the people watching the podcast
Yep.
were like, not enough.
Not enough.
Not enough.
Yeah.
So, but from those 100 people that we chose at random,
The survey, yeah.
at the survey, over 95% of them said they've done it again.
Right, my thoughts exactly.
Yeah.
And when you say over 95,
Yeah.
what was the exact
96.
number? 96?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The backwards dinner for two.
I'm not sure about reference? What do you mean?
Never mind.
96. Is that when people are just lying on their side? Do they lie on their side?
You're top to toe, but you're like, you've got your backs to each other.
Right. Sort of like a lover's seat, sort of.
Kinda.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Two people that hate each other. The
Yes.
96.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, they've done it again.
Yep. Good. Oh, good. Yeah. Hey, good episode. Fun episode. If you haven't listened to the Cumtown Boys before, you are certainly, as we remarked in the show, you're a big fan.
I love it.
I've listened to a bunch of episodes and I find it very funny.
Yeah. It's good if this isn't doing it for you.
Yeah.
Like if this, as fucked as this is, if this isn't rough enough for you, then head over there.
That's it. Yeah. I think if you like the bits where we were a bit fucked on this show, then you'll certainly like them when they amp it up by 10.
We dance around a lot on this show. We've started a lot recently, kind of hinting around the kind of conversations that we have off mic.
I think we shouldn't do that.
And if you want to get a bit of an insight into what it might be like, go and listen to Cumtown.
No. I'm not associating myself with that comparison. Yep.
But yeah, cool. I'm a big fan. Cool to get these guys in.
It was a good get.
It was a good get. Fun episode with them. I thought they got into it. They fit in well.
And also, you went to their live show and just confirmed that we don't have the most fucked listeners of all time.
Yeah, that was nice. Yeah, I don't think we said it on the app, but their live show was in the same venue as our live show the night before us.
Yes.
So it really kind of put me at ease about what to expect from our audience the night after.
Yeah.
So look, to you, the people listening, I feel like I've been a bit harsh about you in the past. And, Friday night at Cumtown Live was a good reality check for me. It really put you guys into perspective.
Yeah. That sounds bad, but it's...
I didn't know how good I had it.
Some people, like, especially with their live shows, like, especially like the last live show we had when people got pretty royally fucked up and there was people getting kicked out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And some people would think, oh, yeah, like we hear from other comics, oh, yeah, your listeners are fucking crazy. They're fucking this, whatever. Man, nothing in comparison to some of these other podcasts.
Totally. Yeah.
Yep, we're all good. Fun times, good folk, funny episode.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
We brought up some some other stuff from the what would you call it, the Great Australian Songbook of comedy idiots. That stories that are sort of the backbone of your and my friendship.
Yes.
That are sort of slowly now starting to make their way into the world of the pod as we get more confident and just go, you know what, who cares?
Yeah.
We can just talk about these people.
We're so big, these guys can't bring us down. Let's just start naming names. Yeah.
Look, that's the dream now, to have chomping on a cheeseburger in the canon of the show. We're setting the stage for us to just being able to live the dream of one day doing a live show where it's lights off and we're just eating a burger up there on stage.
And also
being able to go, it's a reference from the pod.
Yeah. And also just outing every one of our enemies or anyone we don't like at all.
Anyone who's ever crossed us or been a bit weird to us.
Exactly.
We got to start using our powers more for evil.
Yeah.
We're holding back too much.
Yeah, totally. Let's do it from now on. I think we mentioned Koh Samui within that episode, didn't we? Or
I
maybe
don't
we didn't.
think we did.
Oh, we didn't. Well, maybe I think I mentioned it after the episode.
Yeah, we were talking about it afterwards with them.
Right. So maybe we should do a tiny update on that. If you've listened last week, you'll know that the 2019 Koh Samui International Podcast Festival has been announced.
Yep.
June 11 to 16.
Yep. The second to last one ever.
Sorry? It is the last one. It's the last one.
The ultimate.
Yes. The one after the penultimate. We have not pulled the pin. We have called that this is the last one, and people have asked during the week, how come? Just cause that's how it works. You can't just do things forever, and it'll be fun to move on, do something else, think of a different idea. Not necessarily do another festival or whatever it is. Just
we'll do other harebrained stuff.
Yeah.
There'll be other stupid shit for you monsters to get involved in.
Yes.
Don't you worry about that.
Yeah. Totally.
It's just this destination, doing it in this way. It is tempting to just go, let's just literally do this for the rest of our lives. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
But you gotta go away and dream it all up again.
Yeah. And we had really big numbers last year, and this year I should say, and then it'd be great to do that again next year. And then the pressure's off in terms of I don't want it to be like that thing where it just builds and builds, and all of a sudden you start to see it go down and down.
Yeah. And you've said during the week you'd hate for people to be like, oh, that again.
Yeah. Totally. So
three is a good, it's a trilogy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
totally. So that'll be fun. It gives you enough. We've called it 8 months out, so it's enough time for people that have gone, oh, I wanted to go one day, you know. I've already copped a bit like, I was planning on going in 2 years' time. It's not fucking locked in. It's not.
Well, you're an idiot then.
Yeah. Yep. So that's it. June 11 to 16, and then we look the good folk at Ozo that also own the Amari up the road. Look, I don't want to repeat this info every single week, but you know this is the first week or two of it, so I don't mind saying a little bit of it. But hit those guys up. The password is podcast19. If you want to go to the official Ozo site and book yourself some accommodation for the festival, or like I said, the Amari is up the road. It's the partnering hotel to it. It's up the road. If you want to stay away from all the hubbub and hustle and bustle of the podcast festival and just come down at night to watch the show, there'll be a bus. And
yeah,
stuff
that
like
is cool that people have that option. You can be fully immersed in the staying in the place where the shows are.
Yep.
Or you can be off the grid a little bit, still in a very nice place, still getting yourself a very good deal.
Yes.
But sort of have a bit of your own space.
I would say here's a little bit of a tidbit in terms of if you're thinking, well, which one should I choose? Right. So if you're at the Ozo, it means you live and breathe it the whole time. Right. You're mixing with the listeners non-stop, which is fine. It was really good this year.
Yeah.
Great pool.
Yep. Really great pool.
Right on the beach.
Right. Yep.
Perfect.
No travel time to the shows.
No. But if you go up the other place, you get a little bit more time to yourself maybe.
Yep.
You might not be directly on the beach. That's the downside of it.
Yeah, yeah.
But the breakfast up there, better. Bigger spread.
Nice.
So there's I think the key sums for any typical, I think, podcast listener.
By the way, you just saying that has just reminded me. So Stav, who was in this episode that people just heard, I saw him do stand-up at the Cumtown Live thing, and he has his own duck sandwich in his stand-up act. A bit that is very well known by the podcast listeners.
Right.
That he literally cannot get through without people hooting and hollering.
Oh, really?
And it's something about him, if he hooks up with someone, he's like, the sex will be pretty bad, but the breakfast the next day.
Right.
And it's literally, he says, but the breakfast.
Right.
And people just go fucking berserk.
Great.
And then when I saw him do it, he's like, well, I can't really finish the bit now. Bye.
Yeah,
and that was his big closer.
Funny.
That's something that you have in common with a fat, toothless Greek man.
Yeah. A fat guy called Stav, which is weird.
That's, again, and if you've been missing the fat jokes on this show now that Dill's skinny, I mean, head over there because they are just right into it.
Great.
Their fat guy is never going to betray them like ours did.
Great. So
yes, Ozo, Amari.
Yep.
Make your pick.
We do
breakfast is a big selling point.
Yeah, we do. The breakfast at Ozo is very good as well.
Yeah.
But we do have a page now on the littledumdumclub.com. We have an updated page with all the info of the Koh Samui Podcast Festival for 2019. Just remember, send us a message if you've got any doubts about what days to get in or when things are going to happen, and any bits of advice. I'm obviously,
and this is you in your element.
Totally.
Backyard travel agent.
How's
Back
this?
alley travel agent.
Yes, totally. Totally. How's this? And we were going to go to Copenhagen after it as well, so that'll be on the Sunday. So quick little tip about that. That's on the Sunday. The next day is the full moon party in Copenhagen. So when you go to book your flights and everything now, if you're going to do that, man, be doing it now rather than last minute, because with full moon party going on, that will affect the flights if you get too close to the full moon party.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So if you're flying out of Koh Samui the day after the full moon party,
yes,
it's going to be rough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Totally.
That's it.
So it's something to consider. Anyway.
Yeah.
But feel free to send any messages to us, any questions, all of that sort of stuff.
We should, for the sake of content, get involved in the full moon party in some capacity.
Well, I'd be surprised if we don't, because we're going to do a show on I think we do shows, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday in Samui.
Yeah.
Then we do Sunday in Copenhagen, which is a small little ferry ride away. It's like a half-hour ferry ride.
Yeah.
Then that's on the Sunday night. Then Monday night is full moon party. So it's right there.
Yeah.
So I would say a bunch of listeners would probably come over, see the show, hang out and do that the next day.
We should just, with any listeners that want to come to the full moon party, we just do an extra Patreon episode where we're just we just sit on the sand somewhere, gacked live from the full moon party.
Yeah.
We just take it over.
Fuck, I couldn't imagine how that would work.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
We should work out it. Maybe we could do roving reporting, just interview gassed people on the beach.
Just interview people as they're pissing into the ocean.
Yeah.
And maybe just video footage of when they do that lasso thing, where they have a fiery lasso and it's just us trying not to get our fucking faces burnt off.
Yeah. That'd be good.
Yep. But as you said, me and my element as travel agent to Southeast Asia.
Back alley travel agent.
Yes. You know who is in Samui, Koh Samui right now as we speak?
I do.
Friend of the show, Celia Picola.
Mm.
And she's there, and she's getting full-on harassed by me online, going, so what are you doing now? And what are you doing now? And what's this like? And what's this like? So I gave her heaps of tips and stuff when she was going, and she doesn't need any of those tips. She's staying in some lovely place where
Some
she doesn't
awesome
need to
place.
leave it.
Yeah.
But she did go to Greenbird yesterday.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
And did she like it?
So one of my favourite places and a place we've been multiple times.
Yep.
Told her to go and get the spring rolls, the infamous.
Fuck, you're even
spring rolls.
telling her specifically what items to order.
That's the best thing there. Are they the best spring rolls you've ever had there? They're mine, definitely.
To be honest, I can't remember them, but I remember liking that place.
Yep.
Yeah.
So she's gone there. I don't know what the review is because all I got was last night. I just got a picture sent to me of the spring rolls, and that's it. No comment, just there.
Now this is an interesting element of a travel agent where it's like organising it for you, but then when you're on the holiday, you're just getting harassed permanently.
Yes, totally.
Send me a photo.
Yeah. Totally. But I feel like she's not against it at the moment because she's excited to be there and just going, oh, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Great. And so I'm like, I'm more excited.
Go live.
And I'm not even there.
Turn your camera on.
Yes. Last night I was like, when she was at the spring rolls, I'm like, I won't send the message, but I was tempted to go, it's only probably about 500 metres to walk down to the webcam if you want to walk past and give us a wave.
Fuck.
I thought that was probably too far.
That's a bit much.
It's a bit far. Yep. So, lots of guys online, lots of people online, I should say, excited about it. A lot of people that are going back, three-peating.
Yep.
Some people repeating or two-peating.
Yep. Some people just merely peating.
Yes. Some people want to do the big one-peat. So, a lot of people that have never been are excited about going. This is their final chance, so they're pulling their britches up and they're getting into action. They're going to do it. So that's exciting.
That's exciting.
To have a bunch of new faces, fresh faces there mixing in with the old guard, as it were.
Yep.
Really exciting that it's all locked in and everything. And of course, if you check out all the information on the website, you'll see that if you book into the Ozo or the Amari for 7 days, you get free airport transfers as well.
Yeah, that's cool.
If you want to do that, which is obviously a taxi to and fro the airport on your way in and out, which is cool. And it is legitimately, it is better prices this year than it was last year.
Yeah.
So you've got a slightly better deal this year, despite the fact the Aussie dollar is in the toilet.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's gone down since last year.
Wow.
Anyway, there's all the Samui news. Exciting. And, of course, over the next 7 months or so, we'll drip feed any
banging
bits of
on
news.
and on and on about it.
Yeah. Oh, no, hopefully not too much. But we haven't got any guests confirmed at the moment, but we'll be working on that over time.
Yep.
So easy decision if you just want to go and be part of it and you want to come and see us and who you like, all of our guests usually, just come and do that.
Yeah, and go on our social medias and stuff, and you can find all the photos and videos and stuff that we've taken from the last 2 years to give you a bit of a vibe of it on the Instagram, on the Facebook and everything.
If you go to our website, look, and apologies to all the Patreon subscribers and people, we still haven't got the 2018 video out yet. That is definitely my priority at the moment to make sure that gets finished in the next couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. But we do have the 2017 video that we made.
Yeah,
it's on our website. It's $10 if you want to buy our video of a bunch of stuff that we got up to that was professionally shot.
Yep.
It looks very good.
Yep.
Excellent job of it, done of it. So if you want a bit of that, do that.
As seen at the NGV.
Yes. Totally. If you remember a few months ago, or more than a few months ago, when we showed it at the National Gallery to ourselves.
Yep.
And some very confused
onlookers.
People.
Yeah.
Yeah, that were looking for a bit of fucking...
Rembrandt.
Yes. Instead, they got a bit of... Vincent Van Dickhead?
Vincent Van Go Fuck Yourself?
Yes, not bad. Very good. Thank you. All right, that's the end of Samui Talk for this week.
Yep.
Anything else?
By the way, as a guest on Talking Dum Dum, you're really taking the reins on this segment.
You're welcome. That's what a good guest
I'm starting to feel like my hosting chair is kind of, being threatened right now.
No, but that's what you want as a good guest.
This guest comes on, starts swinging his dick around, just taking over.
But you don't want to be driving. The worst thing to do as a host is to be like, oh, God, the guest hasn't said a word.
For sure. Yeah. No, I'm enjoying it, but, I don't know how the producers are going to feel like this. I don't know. I hope you get invited back again next
I'd have
week
to.
because I'm enjoying this dynamic.
I'd
I
have
think
to.
we got something. I think this could really be something.
I could come back next week and maybe give the same sort of information. I feel.
Well, look, we'll see. We'll chat after this.
Yeah.
We'll see how we both feel. Yeah, maybe we can get you because I think so far this is going quite well.
Great.
I'd
Awesome.
like to maybe do this. Yeah, have you on the show again.
Hey, if any other,
but it's it's not totally up to
if
me.
any other podcasts are listening and think, we want to get this guy as a potential guest, I could come on and give Kosamui information on your podcast as well.
Okay.
So just put my hat in the ring. Quick little heads up in terms of another live show. Speaking of live shows, we're doing Perth. If you're listening to this as the podcast rolls off the audio presses, we are doing a show in Perth on November the 17th? 18th.
Baby.
I think we're sort of sold out. If you want to try and get on the door or anything like that, good luck. You know, have a crack.
I think we'll be able to squeeze a couple people in.
Oh,
up
look,
the back on the door.
I don't know how physics works in Perth, but I'm happy to try.
Yep.
Certainly hit us up if you're interested or whatever, because I don't think there's any tickets on sale per se. So do that.
Perth's done it again.
Heaps of fun.
New sales record in Perth for us.
Totally.
Exciting.
By far, I think.
Yep.
So we're super excited about that. We're going to be doing stand-up in the podcast. We've got great guests, some of your favourites. Really looking forward to getting over there.
Yep.
All right. Is that about it? All we had to talk about this week?
I think that's it. That's all the housekeeping I can think of.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now we get into the meat and potatoes.
Now we get to have a bit of fun.
Yeah.
So, Carl, I don't know. I don't think you've listened to Talking Dum Dum before, but what we typically do here is we read out some names of people who support the show on Patreon. And I always get my guests to help me out with that.
Right.
As you can see next to me, I have a big machine that's called the Unplanned Title Alternator, which spits the names out completely and absolutely at random.
Right.
Now, I want to be a good host. I'll let you... Would you like to read the names out as they come out of the machine?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll do it.
You can handle it?
I'll try anything
Okay.
once or
And-
5 times.
Well, speaking of numbers,
What?
that was actually going to be my next question. I always let a little fun game I play here is I let the guest choose how many names that we read out.
Well, I guess I already said 5 times, so let's just do that.
Great. And I don't think that one's ever come up on the show before.
Right.
Again, see, this dynamic is this is dynamite. This is good stuff.
Very good. All right, let's do it. Let's
Bit of
let's
pretending.
Let's do my first ever unplanned title alternator read.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I just this big red button. I'm
Yep.
assuming.
Take your dick out of the exhaust pipe that's at the bottom of it. There's no need. There's
Hang on.
no need for you to be doing that.
Wait a minute.
There's
Talk me through
absolutely
this.
no need for you to be doing
I
that.
take it out.
Yes.
Okay.
And then put it back in again.
What sort of
And then
technology
take it
is
out
this?
again. Get faster and faster.
And then hit my big red button. Okay, right. Okay, look, let's have a go. Look, pull me up if I'm doing anything wrong, obviously.
Oh, I'll pull you up, all right.
Okay. Right, okay, so I just read this name off this display. Right, okay,
Yeah.
sure.
Can you see it right there?
Yeah.
It should be coming up in English.
Yes. No, it definitely is. I'm quite a native speaker of it, so
Yeah.
I recognise most of the characters here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you to Patreon subscriber Ben Davis.
Ben Davis.
Yeah.
Do you think he's any relation to Jim Davis,
Do
the creator of Garfield?
you think he's the jealous younger brother of Garfield's creator? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
A guy who hates Tuesdays instead.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad.
Now this guy, look, I know this is my first ever appearance on Talking Dum Dum, but if it wasn't, I would say that this guy has been doing a bit of the squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Something about his name suggests to you that he may have been hitting up Talking Dum Dum in order to influence getting his name read out sooner.
I'm doing a bit of
Detective work.
Tea leaf reading.
Right,
You know,
right.
Just that name is that's what it says to me.
That's
It
interesting.
says that this guy maybe has been a Patreon subscriber for a long time,
Right.
and has been listening every week to get his name read out, and hasn't got it read out for years, and had to do a bit of, hey, any chance you can
Interesting.
fucking do your job properly?
Those are great instincts.
Yeah.
And again, this is what we like when the guests kind of come in and they sort of speculate about what might be going on behind the
It
scenes.
sort of alludes to that in the Patreon readout here on the unplanned title.
Oh, it's giving you a bit of
info there.
extra info,
There's
right?
There's a I don't know if you've.
I've never even seen that
Right.
bit of it. So
There's
again, I'm learning as I'm teaching.
There's a gossip tag here.
Right.
So I'm just reading through that
Yeah,
at the moment.
Right.
Yeah.
That must be activated by putting the dick in the exhaust pipe.
Right.
See, if you hadn't been here, I would have
Right.
never known that function existed.
It's sort of like an STD or
Yes,
something.
yes.
Right. Okay. Right. Interesting. Ben Davis. Wow. Here's a little bit of interesting info for him because I was thinking, well, okay, if that's the gossip that he's been subscribing for ages, hasn't got his name read out. I thought maybe I can look in this other info and see if we can say something else about him.
Okay.
And his email address has come up, and he's got a bit of blah blah blah, whatever it is, at Newlyweds Foods. So I thought, oh, well, bit of a plug for his business.
Okay, yeah.
At newlywedsfoods.com.au.
Mm-hmm.
So I go
You go check it out.
foods.com.au.
Yep.
Doesn't exist as a website.
So he's put in a fake.
Maybe he subscribed originally and then let the website lapse or something.
So what comes up when you put that address? Just it can't find it.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
It's not like a parked thing.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what. So that must mean maybe he's not getting the bonus content.
Maybe the email still works.
But with a readout like this,
yeah.
who needs extra content?
Yeah. Maybe the email still works.
Right.
But the website isn't working. So
well, I mean, get off your ass and renew the website. We're giving you. I mean, we're giving you. Other companies have to pay for this sort of shit. We're giving you a sweet plug.
Yeah. And I was going to the website because I wanted to get some Newlyweds Foods.
Yes.
Because I'm a year into marriage.
Yeah.
That technically that's newlywed. I kind of think maybe.
Yeah, that is an interesting. I've never thought of that. At what point are you not newlywed anymore?
So I want to know what Newlywed Food is.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, obviously cake, wedding cake.
Did you notice you were eating as the day after your wedding, where you were officially a newlywed, your first day as a newlywed? Did you notice your diet kind of changed? Did you have cravings for foods that you'd never had before?
No, I had cravings to get rid of foods that I'd had the night before by spewing
everywhere. Yeah. Did you really?
No.
Okay.
But I did feel sick.
Yeah.
I had a big night.
Yeah.
I think everyone had a big night at that wedding, I think.
There
was a lot of people that did anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a pretty big night.
Yeah.
But then we had to get a bus to drive us back to Melbourne.
Yeah.
Nothing like sobering up on an hour-long drive.
Right.
While you've got Milan screaming at you from the back of a bus.
Yeah.
And Dilrook loudly rapping.
Really?
And then you realise, hang on a minute, this guy doesn't even drink.
Yeah.
There is no excuse for this behaviour.
I know. We've had a few of those moments where we've been out drinking and carrying on like absolute dickheads, and then Dilrook rises to the top and is like, oh, you're the most fucked out of all of us. And then we go, you don't drink.
Yeah.
What are you doing going out with drunk people and being bigger dickheads than them?
I got to say, though, I get it. Like, if you don't, it's just like, gives you the excuse to just tap into your inner, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's not really going to be remembered. You can just be truly free.
Mm.
I'm kind of into it in a way. But yeah, Newlyweds Foods, check them out. Purchase the domain if you want, because it's just sitting there.
Yeah.
Maybe someone else can have it and make a better business opportunity out of it than whatever Ben's doing with it.
Yeah. Thanks, Ben.
Thanks, Ben.
Thank you to Patreon subscriber. Well, all right. Speaking of the Koh Samui International Podcast Festival, this next person is a person who was a participant in the 2018 edition. Who flew over and was going on jogs with not you. You didn't have anything to do with this, did you? No, you didn't.
No, I was going to the gym and stuff, but I wasn't doing your little run club.
Yep. Karen, thank you to Patreon subscriber Karen Rhodes.
Karen Rhodes,
who is a personal trainer.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
And he was in part of running club, and we would run. We're a little bit slacker this year, to be honest. We probably only went for 3 runs or something.
Right.
But afterwards, he was like, "Right, I'm a PT. Let's stretch down. Let's do some work after it." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, easy." And then we went and did it. I was like, "That was fucking harder than the run."
Because you don't stretch, do you?
Nah.
Yeah.
A little.
That's
bit.
bad.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Not too much.
I'm pretty bad with it at times, but you got it. That's what's going to fuck you up over time, is not stretching.
Yeah, but this was like, it was intense.
Right.
This was harder work than the... I didn't know that could happen. But the stretching took like 20 minutes or whatever it is. And at the end of it, I'm like, I'm wrecked from this. I'm wrecked from stretching.
You're turning this into the stretch cast.
Yeah. It was fucking brutal. It was hard work. It was good.
Yeah.
But I don't want to fucking do that every time.
It feels so good though. Like when it's like a good stretch.
Yeah.
That's when it's brutal, but at the same time, it's like
I've never done yoga, so I guess that's sort of what it is, isn't it? Because I was getting a sweat on stretching. I'm like, how the fuck am I not fit enough to stretch.
If you're running a bit and you're exercising a bit and stuff, and you're just never stretching, you would be toit.
Yeah. Because I was pretty fit at that stage. Not that I'm not fit now, but I was fitter then, I think.
Right.
But yeah, fucking stretching. Jesus Christ, I needed to fucking lie down in between stretching while I was lying down stretching.
Right.
Hard work, Karen Rhodes. So thank you for your free stretching sessions.
Sounds like after that you were ready to lie down in the middle of the roads.
Oh yeah, without a care in the world.
Nice. Thanks, Karen.
Yeah, thanks, Karen. And I saw that name online to start with when we started conversing with him, and it confused me a little bit because I was like, Karen, that's a girl's name, isn't it? Because it's like Karen Cody.
Yeah.
Not spelt the same.
Not spelt the same, but I know what you mean. I thought the same thing.
But not. But thanks for coming, and I think he brought just mates along that had never heard the podcast before.
Awesome.
So hopefully they enjoyed it. Let us know, Karen. I think you're a listener of the show. So
that's a big that's a big effort to convince people to come. I mean, I guess not. It's just like come on a holiday, come hang out at the beach.
Yeah, I mean, if someone said to you, "I'm going to go to Thailand, come over," you'd be like,
someone has
maybe.
said that to me.
Yes,
many times.
Yeah, if you're like maybe, but then if they said we're going as part of a podcast festival that you've never heard,
yes,
that would put me off.
Yes,
going somewhere I wanted to go.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
Yeah. So yeah,
but hey, good on you, Karen.
Karen, let us know. Let us know what your mates thought.
Yep.
In all honesty.
Yep.
Thank you to Patreon subscriber Sky Doyle.
Sky Doyle.
Yeah.
I got to say, you are taking to this like a duck to water.
Thanks, man.
I've
like
never seen anything like this. I've never seen anything like it.
Like a duck to sandwich.
Yep. Like a duck to bread.
Yeah. Sky Doyle.
Sky Doyle. Doyle rules, as far as I'm concerned.
Couple of Y's in her name.
Yeah.
You don't get that too often. You don't get a Y in each name.
I mean, it's pretty rare that you'd get one in either, let alone both.
Yeah.
I mean, I got one in mind. What am I talking about? Although not really, Tommy.
It's not.
But that's
a made-up name.
Yeah, well,
like your last
not a made-up name.
You got two made-up names.
It's not a made-up name.
Well, it is a made-up name because.
Well, for starters, all names are made up.
But you made it up.
But it's a version of Thomas. I feel like that's within my rights as a Thomas. I can take on Tom, or Tommy.
Right.
You know, I'm being playful. I'm being cheeky with it. You know.
How old until you're too old for Tommy?
It's a good question, isn't it?
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't really know. Who's the oldest Tommy?
Well, you and Tommy Little are going to have to.
Who drops out first?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Tom Daslow. It's like a boy band singer that's like trying to convince you that no, he's grown up now. I'm not fucking around anymore.
Yeah.
I feel like you definitely have to have Tommy the whole time this podcast exists because you can't be grown up and still do this fucked podcast.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Can't be like I'm the grown up guy now. Anyway, this person has subscribed for $69. Yeah. No, I'm locked in. I'm locked into this. Even all the harassment and bullying about having the fake name. I mean, I'd love to just get out of it because I see the error of my ways now, but I'm trapped. Right.
You know, I'm locked in.
So the day this podcast finishes, is that when you walk out and go, I'm now performing as Tom Alsop?
Yep. I do one gig, then I walk off stage.
Right.
I take all my clothes off. I walk into the ocean, and no one ever hears from me again.
Right. Okay. Interesting.
You know, you got to have a 10-year plan.
Right.
In this business.
Right. So does that mean that when you get rid of the Y from your last name, Sky Doyle has to get rid of the Y's from her name, so she just becomes Scared Doll.
That would be cool if I just dropped the Y, so I'm Tom with two M's.
Yeah.
Tom.
Ski Doll.
Ski Doll.
I like that.
That's pretty good.
Ski Doll.
Thanks, Ski.
Thank or Ske. However you want to pronounce it.
Skidole.
However you want to pronounce the name that you don't have.
Yeah.
Thank you to Patreon subscriber. I think everyone's getting value for money this week.
Yeah.
Names. Everyone's had a nice little...
Well, you've listened to this before, obviously, Talking Dum Dum. What's it like to finally be in the hot seat doing it yourself?
Never listened to the main show, just listen to this.
Yeah,
bit.
yeah. Heaps of people do that. Don't feel bad.
Yep.
Yep.
Sure.
I would say you've done it again.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. It's everything I thought. I was trying to not mimic, but fit in with how it's usually done.
Yeah.
And I think so far, this could be like any other episode. Like, I'd like to think. Like, that's how good I think I'm doing.
Right, yeah. So you hope that it won't stick out enough to the listeners as like,
No.
who's this fucking new guy who's come in and sort of changed the whole vibe?
If I hadn't said I've never done this before, you'd think this is like any other episode. I'd like to think.
Yeah. Well,
That's the
I'll be
aim.
keen to hear the feedback from what people think. Guys, let us know on the Facebook. What do you think of my guest on Talking Dum Dum this week, Carl Chandler? Sorry, Chandler.
Sound like my father-in-law
comedian.
at my wedding.
Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think of Little Fella's work this week. Because like I've said, I think he's doing a fantastic job. I'd love to invite you back again.
Yep.
But I'll have to see what the top brass think.
Yep.
I got to run it up the flagpole.
And the listeners.
Yeah.
Sure. Thank you too. Patrons, how many is this? 4.
Yep, this will be the 4th. Typically, you'd sort of keep count as you were going along. But that's kind of the first foot you've put wrong.
Right. But what, didn't I just count that one though? Isn't that what I just said?
Yeah, but you sort of had to ask. You should just know.
Oh, so usually people are 100% clear on what number they're up to and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's never any doubt.
No.
Right.
No.
Okay. All right. I'll take that on board. Thank you to Patreon subscriber Connor Parslow.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of this.
Yeah.
Things are going so well.
And I mean, look, yeah, fair enough that this would stump you because this is your first time seeing any of these.
Yep.
But take it from me, someone who does this week in and week out,
Yep.
this is baffling even to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Even the guy who I thought had seen it all. Wow.
Self-professed expert of this.
Right. Expert at people's names.
Expert at people's names.
Right.
Yeah.
And this one, finally, has brought you to your knees.
I mean, before we started recording, I turned to you and I said, listen, this ain't my first rodeo.
Yep.
But, I mean, I got to say, I'm fucking thrown for a loop on this
So
one.
it feels like it is your first rodeo right now.
Well, yeah.
Right.
It's reminding me of what my first rodeo was like.
You're walking into a rodeo going, what's
that thing?
Why is there someone on top of an animal?
What's that big fucked up dog over there?
Yeah. Why is that? That's a funny hat that guy's wearing. Is it? It's not like a baseball cap. It's way bigger and wow.
Do you ever think that it would be cool if you could erase certain bits of knowledge from your brain, kind of Men in Black style? Like, I would love to take out I would love to like get rid of the knowledge of what a horse looks like in my brain,
right?
So I could see one for the very first time. Because I think that would be a cool experience,
right? Just seeing a new horse
with no context of what a horse is,
right?
Because they're fucked looking, right?
Right.
Don't you think?
Yeah. I mean, you could say that about a lot of things. Yeah. I think it would be good. It would be almost. Oh no, that'd be good. But what would be better is if you got rid of all the Australian animals out of your head, and then you just were walking into a zoo.
Yes.
And you didn't tell anyone about it, and then you saw a kangaroo and a koala, and you go, "What the fuck is going on?"
We've said this before, but the platypus, easily the most fucked animal on God's green earth.
Yeah, well, I think it's kind of nearly the number one animal where you can't see where it's come from.
Yeah.
You're like, well, if you say to someone, say to someone, what's a platypus like? Like compare it to another animal. A duck?
Now again, I'm going to have to pull you up on this. I'm going to have to issue a second warning. We don't generally like to get this political on this show.
Okay.
So just in advance of all the letters that are going to come flooding in and the complaints that we'll get on Twitter, we like to be a bit more pedestrian. We like to be a bit more middle of the road. We don't want to rattle any cages around here.
Bit spicy.
Yeah. This isn't the bloody Daily Show, mate.
Okay. I won't compare platypuses to other animals anymore.
Yeah,
Sorry.
don't come in here and do your bloody John Oliver bullshit.
Okay, I'll take it back. Sorry, Connor Parslow.
Now that's more like it.
But your name sort of begged this conversation, obviously.
What do you think of parsley as a garnish?
I think it is an absolute waste of time.
Really?
Absolutely.
I cannot get enough of it.
Really?
Yeah, love it.
I didn't even know that existed.
Love
that a person could like it.
No,
it's like nothing.
Yeah, I don't know. Something about it. I'm into it. I love it.
To me,
if I'm cooking like a pasta or something, I need to make sure I got a big bunch of parsley on hand.
Really?
Chop all of it up nice and fine and just absolutely go to town.
No, not a fan at all.
What garnishes are you a fan of?
Garnish? Well, what comes under the umbrella of
a little
garnish?
accoutrement. You're cooking a little meal for yourself, or your little things you have on the side.
I'm not a big one for that stuff. Like, cheese on pasta, I guess. That's about it.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I got a nice little jar of
chicken salt.
Pickled fennel the other day.
Oh, yeah.
That was good. That's been serving me very well.
I'm really not a fan of those little bits and pieces on top of things.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Is it interesting?
It is, yeah.
I don't know. I can't think of anything like that I don't mind. Like, I don't like sauce on pies.
Okay.
Yeah, and that nearly comes under that, doesn't it?
So you're just a very, you don't like to fuck around. You're very straight down the line.
I want the thing that I want, and I don't need anything else to fucking help it.
What if this was you in therapy? You book a psychiatrist appointment, and it's just you sitting there for an hour, paying a couple of $100 to go, look, I don't know, I just don't like sauce on pies.
Yeah.
And the guy's like... anyway, tell me about your childhood. Like, yeah, there was a bakery around the corner, and I'd go there and get a pie and not have sauce on it. Just anything he brings up.
It's like my problems are so deep. You're gonna have to start right at the very top.
Yeah.
As sort of like a bit of a parsley itself on my problems.
You're saying all this, and your psych's just breaking out in sweat, just like having to dab himself down, going like, "Fuck, I finally met my match."
Yeah, and he's like. Just as he's listening to a half-hour session on parsley, he's just going through his phone looking at houses he can buy because he's like, this is a fucking gold mine. I've just done half an hour on parsley. Think about when we get to his fucking childhood.
Yeah. And then one day you're like, yeah, sausage roll. The flavour's all there. You don't need any sauce on it. One day my dad fingered me. Yeah. Anyway, parsley, it's bullshit. But he doesn't even catch it because he's thinking... I'm just going to sit here and just basically tune out for every session for the basically 2 years.
Yeah.
So he just misses it.
Turns out my dad had put a bottle of cinnamon up my ass or something.
The answer was right there, hiding in plain sight.
Thanks, Connor.
Thanks, Parslow.
Oh, that's why. I was trying to think, fuck, how did we get here? Yeah.
We had a kid at my primary school. I think his name was Peter Parslow. That is brutal.
Yeah. That's you can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't do the old double initial.
You can't make your kid sound like a nursery rhyme.
Like a Marvel Comics character.
Yeah.
No.
So, this is going to be the final one for the week.
Fifth and final.
The fifth and final one for the week.
Right. You only do 5.
We only do 5. Well, you chose. You said up the top we do 5.
Right.
We'll do 5 this week.
Okay.
That was your choice.
Right.
And look... like I've said, hopefully we can get you back in here, but maybe not. This might be the last time we ever get to read out a name together on Talking Dum Dum. So it's been an absolute pleasure.
Right. I'd
like to thank you for joining me. Let's
me.
make it a good one.
Yeah.
Hopefully the unplanned title alternator spits out a good one for you.
Yeah. Well, the pressure's off me because it's just all the
it's
machines.
just a machine. Yeah.
I mean, look, maybe the machine didn't have enough time to really think of anything good or grab a good thing. I mean, at random. This week.
You have gotten it quickly.
Yeah.
Nothing gets by you.
So we'll see what the machine does. Like, hopefully, for the machine's sake.
Yeah, but as you've taught us in this episode, sometimes you don't need sauce.
Yeah.
You don't need garnish. The raw ingredients are good enough.
Yeah.
That you don't need to add anything.
So what you're saying is the first 4 names were the guts of it.
Yeah.
That's what we've enjoyed. We've all enjoyed this.
We've all enjoyed that.
This next bit is like a bit of parsley that we didn't really need or want or like.
It's a bit of sauce for some people.
Yeah.
It's a game changer. It adds everything. It's the only reason that you're enjoying the 4 other names in the first place.
Right.
But for others like you, who cares?
Yeah.
You've had your fun. If anything, this is just getting in the way of a good time.
In a way, if this fifth name is like a piece of parsley, to be quite honest, I'd like to just brush this off right
Get it
now.
over and done with as quick as possible.
Maybe don't even add it to the other 4.
Whereas I'm the opposite. I want a big bunch of this.
Yeah.
I want to just bask in this. I want to taste as much of this as I possibly can.
Would love to go without it, to be quite honest. Love to not even put it on the dish. Leave it in the
Well, it's on
shelf.
special now at the supermarket, so why wouldn't you? Treat yourself.
Yeah. I mean,
Get
this
out
is
of your
all-
comfort zone.
This is all hypothetical. obviously.
Hypothetically speaking,
Yeah,
of course.
These are
Yeah.
all metaphors and
Yeah,
not
yeah,
to
yeah.
be taken literally.
No.
Because I'm busting to do this fifth name.
I can tell.
Absolutely
I
busting.
can tell.
Just to finally, do a complete Patreon read on my favourite segment.
I mean, I feel like you're sort of delaying it a little bit because, like we said, this might be the last time you ever get to do it. So
Yeah.
you're just sort of wanting to savour the enjoyment for as long
Exactly.
as you can.
And
And
not
I can't fault you for that.
Totally, and that's the reason, and not dreading what I will say next or anything. Yeah, totally. I think you get it. Exactly. Just trying to make the most, like staying out on the football field after the grand final, just basking in, this might not ever happen again.
You've still got your dick in the exhaust pipe of the unplanned
Yes.
title alternate, and you're edging at the moment. You're just getting yourself to the brink,
Yep.
and then kind of pulling it back, just so you can say, a bit of tantric, a
Right.
bit of tantric Patreon, just
Right.
kind of stretching it out for as long as possible.
Yes, sure, those things. So, thank you to Patreon subscriber. Okay. All right.
Cause for confusion.
Yeah.
This doesn't generally happen.
Well, look, I've just been reading out names, and this one is a little bit different
Okay.
to the other names. That's all.
Right.
Yet, still rings a bell.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Thank you to Patreon subscriber Newlyweds Foods Comedy.
Now that does ring a bell.
Yeah.
That does ring a bell for me too.
Right. In what way?
Well, we're talking about newlywedsfoods.com.au
Yep.
before that
Yep.
website.
Right.
And so this is Newlyweds Foods Comedy.
Comedy.
Right.
Yeah. So I thought maybe before Newlyweds Foods, obviously that's a business. Now I learn it's a Christian name.
I see what's happened here. You thought it was a website, newlywedsfoods.com.
Yep.
That said Newlyweds Foods Comedy. The .com was short for comedy.
Ah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't
That
know
wasn't an email address. That was him trying to tell you,
Right.
hey, because he was the guy who was like, hey, read my name out already.
Right.
He was trying to like get his friend in the mix as well.
Right. So that's like an abbreviation of his name, the .com, .comedy. That's an abbreviation. He's just changed his name.
Yes.
Right. So that's like you before when we were saying, your name's Tom, and you've decided it's Tommy. It's not really your name.
Yeah.
Does that mean that maybe we could call you Tomedy Daslow?
That's not bad. I'll happily accept that. Tomedy Dasilo.
Tomedy Daslow.
All right, I'm in.
That's great.
I'm in.
Tomedy.
So, but then that means I can say, that Tommy, is short for Tomedy.
Well, Tom is short for Tomedy, and Tommy is...
Because I just get the ED out.
Yeah.
T-O-M-Y.
You get your ED out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, it has started pissing down outside.
Yep.
It's way too wet for me to walk to my car, almost as if God is saying to us, hey, just keep it going for a bit. Just stretch for a little longer.
Yeah, I'm not sure God is saying that. But Tomedy Daslow, that's
I can see what you're
exciting.
saying. This stretching is painful.
Yeah, I
Tomedy-
can really feel that bottle of fucking cinnamon again now.
Tomedy Dasilo. All right, I'm doing it.
Yeah, I like it. From now on.
New business. I'm going to get business cards made up
Yep.
that have that on it.
And then if you look, as a listener of this segment of the show, there's
Yep.
been quite a few people, like that name rings a bell, Comedy as a surname. There's been a couple of them before.
Yeah.
So it's starting to seem like it's a popular name.
Ah, interesting. I never would have picked that up.
Right. Well,
Because I do this every week. I'm sort of...
Right.
I'm
Okay.
used to it.
Right, every week. So that means if you become one of these new age people
Yep.
and you marry a young lady with a last name Comedy and you decide to take her last name,
Here we go.
you could be
Yep. Hit me with
Tomedy
it.
Comedy.
Nice.
Yeah.
I could be. I would be.
Yeah. If you I mean, I don't know is Newlyweds Foods a boy's name or a girl's name?
I hope it's a girl's name. Because I might just have found the love of my life.
Yeah. Yeah. What a way to meet the love of your life. How did you guys meet? Well, I found out she was giving me money every month.
And I thought, this could really work for me.
Reminds me of my mum.
That's me in therapy. All right. Well, thanks, Newlyweds Foods Comedy. That's it from another edition.
Let us know if you're a boy or a girl, by the way.
Yeah. Thank you to everyone who chips in. Patreon.com/Little Dum Dum Club. If you would like to support the show, we really appreciate it. Thank you to everyone who chips in. And thank you to my guest, Carl Chandler, for joining me this week.
Thanks so much for having me.
On Talking Dum Dum. Hopefully see you back again. How do you feel like you've lived up to some of the other greats that you've heard on this segment?
I've only heard a few others, but I definitely feel like this was above average.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Great.
I mean,
this was a good one.
Sometimes I've heard episodes where it's a real half-assed effort from whoever's doing this bit.
I felt energized today.
Yeah.
Something about the fresh energy that you brought into the room that really inspired me to reach new heights.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't feel there was much energy at all, but sure, I'm happy to go on your judgment for sure. Almost feel like I'm a bit tired, but yeah, for sure. Look, you must have had some tired people in before this.
Yeah. Some very tired-looking people.
Yeah,
sure.
Thank you. From whoever you were talking about. Yeah.
Captain Snooze.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. That's it for me, Tomedy Dasilo, signing off, and we'll see you next time.
Well, hopefully, get me in the next year or so. I'd love to come back.
Fingers crossed.
Yep.
See you, mates.
See you, mates.